It is a Friday night as we welcome you to downtown Houston. The Astros taking on their interstate rivals, the Texas Rangers, for the final time in 2018. Astros have had good success against Texas, having won 8 in a row. The Astros start the night 30 games over 500. They are currently 4 games behind the Red Sox for the best record in the American League. The Yankees also trailed the Red Sox by 4.5 games. Hi, everybody. Welcome to a night of Astros baseball. I'm Todd Callis alongside Jeff Blum. It's been a little while, Blummer. Good to see you.
Who is this guy?
Who am I?
Where have you been? It's good to be home and good to see you.
Great to see you again, buddy. And only 3 games here in this homestand. In fact, if you begin with the All-Star break, these are the only 3 home games in a 3.5-week stretch.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, but that's what they do to the World Series champions. They test them, and they've stepped up throughout the course of the season. See if they can do it again.
A lot of home games leading into the break. Now a lot of road games coming out of the break. And Dallas Keuchel on the mound tonight. He's been a guy that's gotten better as the season's gone along.
He really has, and we keep saying vintage Dallas Keuchel. It gets a little worn out, but he is pitching extremely well. In those last 7 starts, that ERA is beautiful. What's great is that number on the right-hand side. The 0 home runs allowed tells me that he has great command, great execution. We've seen a little bit of the pitch usage change a little bit throughout the course of the season for Dallas Keuchel, not leaning on that cutter as much, relying on the 4-seam fastball and a little bit of sink. And that tells me he's doing a very good job of getting that ground ball percentage back up and also that soft contact rate that he's been so good at, too.
Dallas's final start in the month of July, and he could be the pitcher of the month the way he's been going.
He absolutely could. The numbers bear that out. A .98 leads Major League Baseball, and that's a lot of what we're seeing in this video is what we were talking about previously with the 4-seam fastball on that glove side, but it's also that curveball. We've seen a little bit of that slider, but it's really been that slow, looping, breaking ball that's kept guys off balance. And, of course, the changeup getting back in the mix is big things for Dallas.
Keuchel going against the Rangers. He started the month of July against Texas, as he has been outstanding in his last 4 all this month. When we come back, we'll tell you about an addition to the Astros since they were just coming off this last road trip, Martin Maldonado. More on him next. Baseball on AT&T Sportsnet is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. By Champion Energy Services, the exclusive electricity provider of the Houston Astros. And by Volkswagen. The Astros' most recent acquisition, a catcher within the division, Martin Maldonado, Blummer.
Yeah, a nice addition for A.J. Hinch's ball club. He is truly a defensive catcher. Does a good job of blocking the ball, but it's that arm. His nickname is the Machete because he's able to cut down runners with that strong arm. Does a decent job of calling games. Doesn't get a lot of hits, but when he does, they're usually timely. Has a decent average with runners in scoring position, but a nice acquisition with a great arm.
He is going to learn this pitching staff on the fly. Dallas Keuchel gets the start tonight. With more on him, Julia Morales will join us after this.
Whole team together, and since the All-Star break, the Astros rotation with Dallas Keuchel, Justin Verlander, Garrett Cole, and Charlie Morton doing a very good job going deep into ball games. You like to see those innings pitched right at 6 or more. Dallas Keuchel going 7 2/3. Charlie Morton last Wednesday only giving up 1 run in a tough ballpark up there at Coors Field. The walk rates are down. The strikeout numbers are going up. Good signs trending going down the stretch for the Houston Astros, and more on tonight's starter, Dallas Keuchel. We throw it down to Julia.
Thank you so much, Blummer. Yeah, Dallas Keuchel going to kick things off for us this weekend. He's been such a great story, too, here lately. A.J. Hinch told me before today's game, more of a hidden gem, just under-the-radar type story, as 3 of these Astros starters were on that All-Star team on the national stage. Meanwhile, Dallas Keuchel was putting together one of the best months of his career, and he's coming off a great start against the Angels. You may remember he took that no-hitter through 2 outs into the 7th. He just found his groove very quickly. That's what he's been doing lately. He even said he threw too many pitches in the middle of the zone, right down the middle, but he said because I was so aggressive, I got lucky and beat them there. He just established the zone early, which is what he needs to do, and he also elevated when he needed to against some big names, and then he's not always comfortable with. So that just tells you how good Keuchel feels, guys. He said this stretch right now is really good for him because it's what he prepared for in the offseason. He wanted to hit his stride July, August. He's been dealing with injuries the last couple years about that time, so his goal was to get back, being healthy, be a 200-inning guy. He's been strong and looks to keep that up through the rest of the season, TK.
All right, Julia, you're right. It has been fun to watch Dallas lately, and he's been going deep into games in those 4 starts in July, too.
Yeah, how beautiful is that you see everybody else in the rotation getting off to such electric starts. Dallas struggling a little bit early on, but has figured it out recently, and now 1 through 5 in that rotation doing a phenomenal job. It's great to see him on the bump at home, too.
Facing the Texas Rangers tonight, and here is how they will line things up with Jeff Bannister as Shin-Soo Choo will lead things off in right field. A little lineup change with the Texas Rangers right before the game as Jurickson Profar plays second base. Choo was originally the DH. Now Adrian Beltre DHs because Isaiah Kiner-Falefa is in the lineup playing third base. Ryan Rua was in the outfield, and he was a late scratch due to back spasms. Ronald Guzman, Robinson Chirinos, Willie Calhoun, Kiner-Falefa, and Carlos Tocci round out your Rangers lineup. Here's how the Astros will play defensively behind Dallas Keuchel. The outfield is Tony Kemp, George Springer, and Josh Reddick. J.D. Davis makes his second start of the year at third base. No Jose Altuve tonight. Marwin Gonzalez starts at second. That moves Alex Bregman to short. And Yuli Gurriel starts at first with Max Stassi behind the plate. Keuchel making his 22nd start of the year, facing the Texas Rangers for the 5th time this season. And we are underway on a Friday night with a big crowd here at Minute Maid Park, and the first pitch misses to Shin-Soo Choo. Choo coming in with a .286 batting average. Had that on-base streak of 52 games in a row, the longest in Major League Baseball, and a Texas record finally broken. He's had 52 walks, though, in his last 54 games. A very patient hitter, and Dallas behind him 2-0. On the ground, slowly hit. Marwin Gonzalez down to a knee for the first out of this game.
Our Best in Texas Power Pitcher is brought to you by your local Ford dealers. First 17 starts for Dallas Keuchel, trying to find it 52% of the time. He was throwing that fastball. He got a little heavy on the cutter at 20%. And the adjustment was stay on the fastball, use that changeup a little bit more, and that slurve, that slider curveball mix that he has, get away from that cutter. In his last start, he did not use that cut fastball at all against the Anaheim Angels.
Kind of crazy that he went from a 20% guy with a cutter to not even using it in the entire start. And he had a lot of success. 7 2/3 innings of 2-hit baseball. For a while, he had a no-hitter going until a line drive glanced off the top of Marwin Gonzalez's glove. It's 0-1 to Jurickson Profar.
Yeah, it's amazing to see that line that he had against Los Angeles. 7 2/3, only 2 hits and 0 earned runs. And he actually could have pitched better. If Marwin catches that line drive, we might have had that first no-hitter for Dallas Keuchel.
Dallas was in command from the start, and originally there was an earned run charge to Dallas, but as Blummer said, now no earned runs. There was a scoring change since he last pitched, so he has gone now 2 consecutive outings without allowing an earned run. Marwin Gonzalez later on in the inning threw a ball to third trying to get a lead runner, and it was originally ruled a fielder's choice, but it's now been changed to an error, and that gave Dallas the unearned run.
That's the appropriate call. It was a tough play for Marwin to try and make, but it was not an ideal throw.
2-1 to Jurickson Profar. Now it's 3-1. Profar 4 for 16 in his career against Dallas Keuchel. That doesn't tell you whether there's a pitcher or hitter advantage necessarily, but Profar has never been struck out by Dallas. He always puts the ball in play, it seems, and that one gets away from Stassi. That wasn't too bad of a pitch, but Max missed it, and it's a walk to Profar.
Keuchel looking for the command on our MD Anderson strike zone. See where that last pitch was. Down and in. Looks like Stassi was trying to do a little too much to try and frame that. Ended up clanking it. No harm done.
Here's Elvis Andrus. 8-game hitting streak coming in, and Dallas starts him off with a strike. Numbers against the Astros very good this season. In fact, if you go back to last year, he's hitting over 400 in the last 2 seasons against Houston. There's that good changeup, has Andrus flailing. It's 0-2.
Beautiful depth on that. Usually the change of speed can be good enough in the right location, but this one also dropping out of the zone.
Fought off that fastball. It stays 0-2. Rangers coming off a 4-game sweep at the hands of the Oakland A's in Texas. Some frustrating losses in those 4 games, including a game they led 10-2. Popped in the air, shallow right. Josh Reddick comes in, makes the play for out number 2. Now bring up Adrian Beltre, who coming into the game was going to play third base today, along with his buddy Elvis Andrus on the left side. And with that late lineup change, he's now the DH. Beltre 5 for his last 9, coming in with 3,122 career hits. Good for 19th on the all-time list, and he takes a strike. Mentioned the Rangers coming off losing 4 straight. The Astros 3-2 on the road trip, going to Anaheim and Colorado. Colorado series, Blummer, is a little unusual.
Oh,
not a lot of offense in that stadium.
No, usually that's a place where hitters' eyes light up. You start seeing the baseball driven all over the place. But both sides, even a home team, the Astros hit very well on the road, and the Colorado Rockies hit very well at home. But pitching stepped up and kept it a couple of low-scoring affairs.
Little ground ball on the right side finds its way into the outfield. The Astros have Beltre shifted over a little bit, and he was able to single to right. 2 runners on with 2 outs.
I thought that Dallas wanted that second pitch being called a strike, but a good job by Beltre, the veteran, staying on that curveball on the outside corner and just taking what's given to him with that open hole on the right side. Now 3,123 hits.
Yeah, next on his list is going to be Tony Gwynn. 18 away from Gwynn, who is 18th all-time in hits. Here's Ronald Guzman. Guzman takes a fastball inside. Guzman just 147 his last 11 games, but he is 4 for 6 against Dallas Keuchel. 2-0 the count.
It's interesting, the Rangers and Jeff Bannister opting for the higher average at first base in Ronald Guzman than Joey Gallo. Seen Gallo play a lot of outfield since Guzman's been here.
And even with the late lineup change, electing not to go to Gallo, Dallas has really carved up Gallo in his career.
And you talked about the 4 for 6. Guzman's actually hitting .283 against left-handed pitching this season.
Broken bat. Yuli will flip it to Dallas covering, and that'll do it for the Rangers. 1 hit, 2 men left on base. We head to the bottom of the first. Presented by Southwest Airlines. George Springer leading off, followed by Alex Bregman. Josh Reddick moves up to the 3 spot with Altuve having the day off. Yuli Gurriel bats cleanup. Evan Gattis is the DH. Marwin Gonzalez plays second base. J.D. Davis over at third, batting 7th. Max Stassi and Tony Kemp round out your Astros lineup.
Giovanni Gallardo going for the Texas Rangers. He has 6 starts this season. He has appeared in 9 games. On the season, a 4-1 record, 36 in the 3rd innings pitched, only 21 strikeouts. That fastball isn't beating too many guys right now. The average against it is 282. He's averaging almost 92 miles an hour on the fastball. He will back that up with a slider about 21% of the time, and then split between the curveball and changeup after that.
Coming off his best outing of the season when he pitched against the Cleveland Indians in his last outing. As he will face George Springer, who has a tendency to go deep against the Rangers as leadoff hitter. He's done it 8 times in his career. Overall, George with 4 home runs against Texas this season. Lumber mentioned Gallardo's not going to beat a lot of guys with his fastball. Whiff percentage against that fastball, the lowest in the big leagues this year. He's thrown at about the same velocity he has in the past when he had a much higher whiff percentage than this year, but throwing a lot of first pitch strikes, and he's not missing many bats. 1-1 the count.
Batting average against Gallardo on a whole is 292. Right-handers are getting them at 328.
Another good crowd for a home game here at Minute Maid Park. This is a stretch where the Astros are not home much at all. They're expecting big crowds for all 3 of these games against the Rangers. After playing 20 of 26 at home before the All-Star break, the Astros kind of paying it back now, as they will be on the road for 22 out of 31 games coming out of the break. 3-1 pitch is set high in the air to center field. Tochi, the young center fielder, is there, and that's the first out.
Got some league leaders, and they're presented to you by Houston Methodist. Alex Bregman, since June 1st, an absolute beast. 16 home runs, 45 RBIs, the OPS, which is a combination of on-base percentage and slugging percentage, at 1,061. And along with those 45 RBIs, why not go out there and score some runs? 42. Just an all-around phenomenal ball player here in recent months for the Houston Astros.
That's kind of remarkable when you have an infield of Yuli Gurriel, the reigning MVP Jose Altuve, a future MVP in Carlos Correa and Alex Bregman, that if you would have said before the season which infielder is going to have the best year heading into the month of August, not many would have picked Alex, but he certainly would be the answer this year. Altuve certainly doing his thing with his batting average and hits total, but Alex has had all the overall OPS and WAR numbers at the top of the Astros list.
And he's absolutely exploded onto the scene with some of those numbers. Basically swung himself into that All-Star game, the home run derby. It's a pretty exciting interview at times too.
Yeah, he is. He was a little bit animated after that game in Colorado. In fact, he apologized today before the game, seeing he has a lot of respect for all Major League umpires. He was a little heated after that game because not only did he have that triple taken away, but he also had a check swing on a 3-2 pitch that was called a swing that he didn't like.
Well, I mean, granted, going out there and saying some of the things he did was a little intense, but I also like the fact that he was recognizing that it affected the team's outcome. And that's where it really kind of got to him. And going back to the couple of those plays in Colorado, this is the big one. There was a lot of talk about how can you assume the catch, but anytime you reach onto the field, you're not even giving the fielder a chance to make the catch. But he was eventually ruled that the fan reached over, and it was ruled an out.
Yeah, the only problem I had with that, as Parra was back there, here's the ball into shallow center field, and Tochi comes in and makes the play, is Parra never really argued. And he was not really camped under it. He was still off balance and moving back to the wall.
And he was timing that jump to go into the wall. That's where I don't know how you assume the catch, but I'm not sure what else he could do.
It was a tough call, and I think if I was on the other side, he's never camped under it where he looks like he's comfortable to make this catch. And then he still gets the benefit of this fan who unfortunately was wearing an Astros jersey, but didn't do the Astros any favors.
The irony.
Here's Josh Reddick.
Yeah, to your point, a lot of times when we see that fan interference, it's usually on the foul lines or out, and the guy's camped underneath it, and then the fan reaches over where you can obviously say, yes, he would have caught that ball, but that was a tough one.
We had one this year here at Minute Maid Park in right field. Stephen Piscotty was under a ball that easily would have been caught. That one I could totally understand. The one in Colorado, I thought you could make an argument that it might have been a hit even if a fan didn't touch the ball. Reddick tried to hold up, but he goes around. It's 1-2. Josh starts the night 258, batting 290 here at Minute Maid Park. Jose Altuve with the night off, so Reddick moves up to the 3 spot. And knee's been bothering Altuve a little bit, so AJ figuring with the day off yesterday, not a bad idea to give him back-to-back days off.
Yeah, we've seen AJ do that before.
Reddick's not going to be happy with that call by the home plate umpire Larry Vanover on the 2-2 pitch, but he's called out for the final out of the inning.
To take a look at today's Chevy Straw Poll. Question today is, what's been the best surprise about the Astros season so far? Is it Max Stassi stepping up, Kemp and his contribution? How about Alex Bregman's power surge or Dallas Keuchel's reboot here lately? Vote on Twitter at ATT Sportsnet SW. We will let you know the results later in the broadcast. TK?
All right, Julia. Second inning baseball. Dallas Keuchel out there for his 5th start of the month and final start of the month of July. Mentioned before the game he could be the pitcher of the month if he has a strong one tonight, because he has been good for his 4 starts as he faces Chirinos here with a strike. It's 0-1. The good news watching Dallas in the first inning was, even though he got behind a couple of lefty hitters, 2-0, Sin-Shu Chu and also Ronald Guzman, he was able to then get in really weak contact from both of them. That's a good sign.
It's a guy with a lot of confidence. Even though he's falling behind, he's still able to execute and put pitches where he needs to get the soft contact. But I've been impressed overall throughout the course of the season with Dallas's mound presence.
That's the hardest hit ball of the night for Chirinos as he goes into center field. Hardest hit ball of the night for the Rangers is a double by the Texas catcher.
I feel like Robinson Chirinos only gets hits against the Astros.
Seems that way.
Yeah, but he did a good job of staying on that changeup. Not easy to stay back on a 79-mile-an-hour changeup, possibly sitting on that pitch, but not a terrible location, just a pretty good piece of hitting.
So he's a leadoff base runner at second base. I'll bring up Willie Calhoun. Calhoun was acquired right around this time last year by the Rangers. Trade deadline deal with Yu Darvish going to the Dodgers and Calhoun part of the package coming back from LA. Has spent most of this season at AAA Round Rock. Got the call up 1 week ago. 5 for 22 since coming up to the Rangers. Dallas ahead of the count 0-2. Max Stassi behind the plate tonight. We may see him behind the plate again tomorrow with Justin Verlander on the mound. AJ saying he wants to see the new acquisition Martin Maldonado catch as many side sessions and bullpens with guys before he gets comfortable with his staff. It's going to be a process being moved in the season. Stassi obviously has been with this team for the last half dozen years. Now Maldonado learning a new staff on the fly.
How happy is Maldonado got to be not being in the batter's box and actually receiving some of the pitches now that he's been trying to hit throughout the course of the season.
And this is a staff with a lot of guys that have a really good idea of how they want to work hitters. So it's not like Martin's coming into a team or a rotation where guys are going to really lean on him. They can pretty much tell him, this is how I do it. This is what I'm comfortable with in certain counts. Swing and a miss. Big strikeout there for Dallas Keuchel. After the opening double by Chirinos, Calhoun goes down swinging. Tonight's fan cam is driven by GulloAuto.com. That's a good fan right there.
Might be the biggest fan the Astros have.
Paul Bykowski.
He's usually working these games.
His wife Darlene enjoying a little baseball on this Friday night. Apparently they have the whole row to themselves right now. We're hearing on Twitter a lot of people are waiting to get in. There's long lines outside.
Oh wow.
People are streaming in, but only so many can get in at a time. So for now, Paulie's enjoying a whole row to himself and a nice beverage. Good to see him relaxed.
It's good to see him eating.
That's a good point. A lot of times he will not eat until late into the night after a baseball game. Here's Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. So our director for most of the games getting a chance to be a Gullo fan of the game tonight. Kiner-Falefa was not in the original lineup, but now batting 8th and playing third base. Broken bat past the diving Davis. Off balance throw, not in time. On the play, Chirinos moves to third. Dallas, some tough luck there. Breaks the bat of Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, but it results in a hit.
More soft contact off Dallas Keuchel, leading to a hit, but a heck of an effort by Alex Bregman on our Mattress Firm Supermo, showing him staying focused on that ground ball, even with J.D. Davis laying out in front of him. Does a good job on the backhand and throwing it back across his body. Very similar to the play we see him make and he makes in foul territory when he's playing third.
Pretty good heads up base running by Chirinos. Once J.D. Davis went down to the ground, Robinson realized he could advance to third without anybody covering. A little bunt on this first and third play. Dallas is going to shovel home. Safe at home plate is Chirinos. Carlos Tocci with the bunt. We've seen that play employed by the Astros at times this year. The first and third bunt play works for the Rangers for a 1-0 lead.
That's a play that TK is used to seeing, because I believe it was mostly Joe Madden when he was coach of the Tampa Bay Rays in those first and third situations. Get the bunt down towards first usually increases your opportunity. Stassi does everything he can to try and keep that foot in front of Chirino's scoring, but to no avail. Gold Glover gave a pretty good effort himself on that glove flip too.
So Tochi with the RBI. It's 1-0 Rangers. Tochi's not a guy who has played a whole lot. Rule 5 selection, ends up with a little bunt fielder's choice RBI there. Here's Shin-Soo Choo. Choo takes a pitch outside for ball 1.
It goes back to your point about Chirinos advancing when he saw J.D. Davis lay out, getting to third base, enabling that play to be possible.
Choo grounded out to second his first time up, takes a called strike. It's 1-1. That is the first run allowed by Dallas Keuchel. That will be an earned run in his last 3 starts. Last earned run came against the White Sox on July 8th. Choo, as we mentioned, will be a patient hitter, but he's down in the count here, 1-2. Now the count's full. Only one hard hit ball tonight for the Rangers, yet they have 3 base hits. Kiner Falefa, a broken bat hit. That last play was ruled a fielder's choice and an RBI. Slowly hit towards first. No chance to turn 2. In fact, they won't get any. He only drops the baseball. That should have been at least 1 out. Instead, Choo lives on what should be an error on the Astros first baseman.
Dallas Keuchel forced to deal with some more adversity. Should be at least 1 out here, but we're Yuli unable to make the exchange. Can't get that out. Still 1 out of the inning, and now the bases are loaded on that error.
That big first baseman's glove has been picking a lot of scoops this year, but it was hard for him to find the baseball in that big mitt. In the transfer, now the bases are loaded with Jurickson Profar, the batter. Profar walked his first time up. And a strike.
StatCast AI, powered by AWS, is letting you know that the bases are loaded and who they are. Kiner Falefa at third, Tochi at second, and Shin-Soo Choo at first base.
Started to mention when Profar was up the first time up that even though he's 4 for 16, the no strikeouts and the 16 at bats, that's the most at bats against Dallas Keuchel without a strikeout. So he has put the ball in play every time he has faced Dallas, and Dallas ahead of the count 0-2, looking for a big strikeout here with the bases loaded and 1 out. Doesn't get the chase in the dirt. It's 1-2. Dallas has 1 strikeout. It came earlier this inning, getting Willie Calhoun. Up to 40 pitches already with 1 out in the 2nd inning. There he goes. He got Profar for the first time in his career. Big strikeout for Keuchel for the 2nd out of the inning.
Good chatter. Got him with that slider down. Almost looked as if Profar might have been guessing changeup. A bit of an unorthodox swing.
So now Dallas can see his way through this inning if he can get Elvis Andrus. Andrus ground ball backhanded Davis down to a knee. Long throw in time. Nice play by the Astros third baseman, and that'll strand the bases loaded. It's 1-0 Texas. This Lone Star Series presented by the Texas Lottery. Cheer on the Astros this weekend as they take on their in-state rivals, the Texas Rangers. For tickets, visit astros.com/tickets. Yuli Gurriel got all the way to the plate with the batting weight still on his bat. He's ready to go now as he faces Giovanni Gallardo. We mentioned Gallardo, a lot of first pitch strikes and not a lot of swings and misses. Yuli's a guy that swings at a lot of first pitches. This could be a game where Yuli doesn't see a whole lot of long at bats, although he takes that first one for a strike. Yuli puts a lot of pitches in play. And he takes the first two. What's Yuli doing?
Welcome back.
He walked to the plate with the donut. It's not even the donut, it's that long sleeve, the weighted sleeve, with the sleeve on his bat. And now he's decided to not swing at the first two pitches after I talk about how aggressive he is.
He's gone mental.
Thanks.
This game will do it to you. That road trip wasn't kind to him. 2 for 21. A little bit rough, maybe trying to see a couple more pitches to get back in the groove a little bit, but I'm with you. If you're aggressive early in the count, you're facing a guy that throws a lot of fastballs like Giovanni Gallardo does. Maybe swing early and jump on that first pitch fastball, barrel it up, and get that confidence back. But I'm with you. I was expecting a swing early.
So far, he's taken 4 pitches. That doesn't happen often. Sends one into left field. Calhoun's back there. Makes the play for the first out. Watching a couple of games during the time off with Toronto involved, and his younger brother is very similar in how he uses the whole field. And it'll be interesting at the end of the year when these two teams get together with Toronto and the Astros, because brothers didn't have a chance to play against each other the first time around here at Minute Maid Park.
Yeah, I was disappointed about that too, because I saw a lot of similarities that you're talking about. Also goes up the middle the other way, sprays the ball around, hunts the fastball. I also wanted to see the smile on Yuli's face when he saw his brother across the diamond.
Yeah, that's going to be a good moment.
That'll be awesome.
They play up at Rogers Center in Toronto at the end of the year. That series will be the final week of the season as the Astros finish off with Toronto and Baltimore. Here's Evan Gattis down in the count 0-1. And Gattis with the Astros' first base hit of the night. Single into center field.
As you enjoy a cold one, look forward to the Miller Lite Hold True moment later in tonight's game.
Here's Marwin. 1 on and 1 out. A lot of Miller Lite moments throughout the year, but especially lately with the Astros and Rangers. Because the Rangers have been playing in 100-degree temperatures, it seems like, for the last couple of weeks, and the Astros fortunately have been on the road during this heat wave.
And have a roof.
And have a roof when they're home. There's a ball sliced foul. But Gallardo last start only went 72 pitches. Jeff Bannister got him out of there because it was 102. Yeah, it was 102 at first pitch.
Well, I heard it was 102 at first pitch. The heat at the end of the game was 108.
Oh.
So that's not good when you're gaining that much, that kind of heat. But he was pretty efficient in going out there against Cleveland. 6 innings, no earned runs, and 3 hits.
Even in that game where he was as dominant as he's been all year, just 1 strikeout.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? Just cannot get the swing and miss.
People are putting the ball in play against the guy who last year had a 20% whip percentage on the fastball, and this year it's down to 5%. Not just off a little. That's dramatic. I guess I was referring to the people in Houston outside of Minute Maid Park.
Yes.
That have been dealing with it. That's always comfortable inside.
No, that's the other crazy thing. We go up to Colorado. It's 90 in the middle of the afternoon. It's 80 degrees when the game started. By the finish of that game, that getaway day, 60 degrees.
Unbelievable.
We saw some crazy weather when we were up there in Colorado.
Yeah, that was a crazy JMI series.
She saw 3 seasons in the last 6 innings.
Now Marwin ahead of the count 3-1. All 3 of those misses have been very close at the bottom of the zone, but Larry Vanover has not seen them as strikes.
But that's what you want to see from Marwin. If he's going to get back to swinging the bat well, he's got to lay off some of those tough pitches down. Take the walks when you can, but start taking those pitches and get yourself in a fastball count. That's going to benefit Marwin Gonzalez.
Well, Marwin draws the walk, putting runners at first and second. And that'll bring up J.D. Davis. Davis getting his 2nd start of the year at third base, has also made 8 starts at first and 3 starts in left field. J.D. came on in that Colorado series finale on Wednesday night when Jose Altuve left the game. J.D. also appeared in the series in Anaheim as both a hitter and a pitcher. 1-0 the count. Became the all-time leader in number of games pitched in his Astros career with now 3 as a position player.
That's really not a slight.
Nope.
JD can throw in the low 90s. We saw him with a pretty good slider last year, but still not something you want to see on a regular basis. No offense to JD and his stuff.
Rangers had a game recently where they had to use 2 different position players.
Wow.
There are more position players being used as pitchers this year than you'll see in a 5 or 10 year stretch.
Kevin Cash will show me something in Tampa if he starts a position player for a game.
He's had Alvarado at first. He's had Sergio Romo at third. They're trying some things over there with the Rays opening pitcher and bullpen days. Gallardo down in the count 2-1. 2 on with 1 out. JD could look for a pitch to drive here. Instead it's outside, and Gallardo, struggling with his zone, is 3-1. 32 pitches in. Gallardo 16 strikes, 16 balls.
A good time to get a fastball you can drive if you're J.D. Davis. Everything's been down in the zone. Let one leak out over the plate, get the barrel to it.
On the ground, right side, Profar backhands to Andrews, and they turn two. JD hits into an inning-ending double play as we head to the third with the Rangers up 1-0.
Military Appreciation Night. It is presented by your Houston area Chevy dealers, and I'm with the Vice President of the Houston area Chevy dealers, Forbes Durden. We do this every year. It's fun. 6 years for you guys to sponsor this event and be presenters. Why is this so important to the Chevy dealers here in Houston?
This is one of my favorite evenings of all the evenings that we have. It links our Chevy youth baseball program all the way up to Major League Baseball, and this is the pinnacle of every evening. Is that we give away a car to one of our veterans that, truly we really feel like support our country is Chevrolet, and what they do for us is unremarkable. So that's why we do it.
No big deal. You just dropped. We gave away a car tonight. Tell me a little bit about that process. It's a surprise.
So every year is this, we pick a veteran that is thinking that they're just throwing a first pitch away, and then the next thing they do is we surprise them. Hey, you just got a free car, and all of a sudden they say, you know what? This is like, I'm just thinking about throwing that pitch across home plate, and now I just got a car, and next thing you know, it's like, okay, well, I have to recalibrate my mind and get that pitch over first plate. And so it's always exciting for me to kind of relive that every year. And this year is like an awesome year because Garth was that our veteran that we got to select. So.
Yes. All right, Staff Sergeant Garth Rowe is with us right now. Thank you, Forbes. I'm going to ask Garth, though, about getting a free car. Were you surprised?
I was completely surprised. I had no idea this was happening tonight. I just thought, just like what he said, I thought I was coming here and throwing out a pitch, and that's all that was going on. It was a big surprise for me.
I mean, just the entire night, though, and then the appreciation that the Houston Astros and, of course, Chevy are doing to show their support for the men and women who sacrifice their lives. What does this mean to you?
Oh, it's a great deal. I mean, the thing is, all of us that serve in the military, we go over there because we believe it's the right thing to do. It's nice to come back and actually have this support back here in the United States. I mean, the reason we do it is for the people back here, and having that appreciation when we come back is just huge. It's amazing.
Well, you look good in your Astros gear, but you're not from here. You are an Astros fan now, though, right?
Of course I am. Went to every single playoff game last year and rooted them on the whole time.
It's so great to have you here. Thank you so much for your service, Garth.
Thank you, ma'am. I really appreciate it.
Thank both of you guys. Thank to Houston area Chevy dealers as well, guys.
All right, great to see Garth Rowe. Thank you very much for your service. Yes. Incredible story in Afghanistan, Purple Heart. and throwing out the first pitch today, and he's a new car owner. Congratulations.
That's a very good day.
Nice play by Marwin going to his left, retiring Ronald Guzman for the second out. Guzman now 0 for 2 with a couple of ground outs. Dallas with a line drive out to get Adrian Beltre for the first out, and now he'll face Robinson Chirinos with 2 outs and the bases cleared.
I'm not sure if you noticed it, but before that AB, when Ronald Guzman was walking up to the plate, Dallas Keuchel turned around to Marwin Gonzalez and kind of said, hey, hold your ground a little bit, because Marwin was starting to go a little closer to second base. He said, just kind of hang out there for a little bit. An extra step or two allowed him to make that play.
That's pretty impressive for Dallas to do that. He knows he's going to try and put the ball on the ground for the most part.
Well, it's just interesting with all the shifting going on that Dallas still has a little bit of, there's some play in there that he could adjust off that a little bit.
In this situation with Chirinos batting, the Astros anticipate he's going to pull the ball, so Marwin over on the third base side of second base. Chirinos doubled to center field his first time up, and Dallas pours in a strike. It's 2-1. Dallas had a little tough luck after the Chirinos double. Not any other ball the entire rest of the inning was hit hard, yet the Rangers were able to score a run. Now it's 2-2.
You know who was really good at calling their pitches was Greg Maddux. Played with him in San Diego a couple of games at third base. A right-handed hitter would come up and go, you just kind of whistle at me and go, be ready. Eventually it was ground ball third base for another out. It's kind of nice when they can call their AB.
Swing and a miss. Keuchel able to strike out Chirinos, so Dallas comes back with a strong third inning.
Are on sale now. Fans who purchase season tickets now enjoy immediate benefits, including guaranteed 2018 postseason priority access. For more information, visit astros.com/season tickets or call 1-877-9-ASTROS.
Already time to start thinking about 2019 as we play in the final weekend of the month of July. Astros in town for a 3-game set against the Rangers, then back out to the West Coast, Seattle, then the LA Dodgers and the San Francisco Giants on this next trip.
Nothing like a World Series rematch.
How about that? And the Dodgers are at their peak right now in terms of how they're playing.
Really well. Manny Machado, new acquisition for them.
There will be a lot of good vibes for the Astros going back to Chavez Ravine for that series. Max Stassi will lead things off in the bottom of the third and swings at the first pitch and grounds and foul.
This is it.
After this series with the Rangers, The Astros will then play the Seattle Mariners 10 times in a span of 20 games. Right now, the Mariners are looking over their shoulders with the Oakland A's continuing to play the best baseball in the major leagues over the last month or so. There's only one game now separating those two teams.
It's pretty amazing.
Towards the middle, Andrew spins, throws off balance, and a nice pick at first on a split by Ronald Guzman. Here are the records. Both teams with 61 wins. Mariners one game in front based on having 2 fewer losses. Both these teams are winning a lot of games late and close.
They both have very good closers. And they have good back end of the bullpen for the Oakland A's, but they are getting some power from Chris Davis, who absolutely obliterates Texas Ranger pitching. But they are a young team with a couple of veterans sprinkled in there playing very good baseball down the stretch.
Here's Tony Kemp. It'll be interesting to see if the A's are able to add anything to the puzzle. Trade deadline coming up on Tuesday. Astros adding the catcher Martin Maldonado, but Jeff Luhnow saying before the game to a group of reporters that he is in conversation with 6 or 7 teams right now. Also during that little Q&A, he added it's not just a bullpen arm that they might be looking at, that there could be someone who could help this team on the offensive side as well if they are able to make a deal. 1-1 pitch misses. It's 2-1. So we'll see. Last year the Astros did not make a move at the original trade deadline and obviously made the big move before the August deadline, where you have to have your roster set for the postseason, but that involves clearing waivers. Kemp with a count of 2-2.
Is your curiosity piqued at all with the St. Louis Cardinals letting go of Greg Holland?
Oh, man, that was.
I mean, just because of the numbers that Greg Holland has had in the past. I know that this season has not been a good season for him, but
to not even get anything back.
Yeah.
It was a tough. There's a called third strike on Kemp for the second out. The Cardinals are having a tough year, and you know that was a. Whenever you see a big name that's let go,
well, that's the thing. It jumps out and back into the bullpen, the experience.
We'll see. I mean, the Cardinals are in a position now where I don't know if they're going to be able to make a run this year, and they're going to try and see some younger guys in the back end of the bullpen. And you know, Holland had been struggling, but this is the time of year where all of a sudden.
Well, it's fun to speculate. I mean, it's easy for us to do, and everybody else at home to think along with us and maybe have some ideas. But I just think it's always interesting that Jeff Luhnow is always kind of sending out the feelers to see what's going on.
And you never get a feel, because the Astros do keep things so close to the vest, whether something's going to happen. Obviously, last year there was hope that something would be happening before the trade deadline, and Francisco Liriano, the lefty, was picked up, but they were hoping for a bigger splash if that was possible. And then there wasn't much rumbling going into that final day of August when Justin Verlander was acquired, and all of a sudden, boom, he's here.
Happened pretty quick. It's funny that, you know, could we add another arm? You got to remember, Garrett Cole. That was the talk last year also, was, hey, if we could just get a guy like Garrett Cole, wouldn't it be great if we could get Verlander? Guess what? They're both here.
That's right.
It's amazing to think about it like that.
Yeah, Cole was one of the hot names last year. It's also amazing to think about in the last 2 seasons, going back to the offseason prior to 2017, that Jeff Luhnow and his staff have been able to acquire 3 all-star starters on this year's all-star team.
Honestly.
Charlie Morton and I already mentioned Verlander and Cole. Well, for a guy who doesn't strike out many, Giovanni Gallardo struck out the last 2, including getting Springer swinging. Downloading the AT&T Sportsnet app from iTunes or Google Play, or visit attsportsnet.com to stream on your computer. Log in with your cable account and you're all set. Available for those with AT&T Sportsnet in their TV subscription. Blackouts and territorial restrictions apply. Willie Calhoun leads off the 4th inning, and Dallas starts off the inning with a strike. Calhoun struck out his first time up. One of 3 strikeouts for Dallas through 3 innings. Dallas in the month of July, we've showed you the numbers with that sub-1 ERA. He has gone 7 innings against the Rangers, 7 innings against the White Sox, 6 against the Tigers, and then 7 2/3 in his last outing against the Angels. Vintage Dallas going deep into games, and that wasn't always the case earlier in the season. He was averaging 6 innings a start in his first month. Month of May, he made 5 starts and only threw 28 1/3 innings. So good to see Dallas getting back to those 6, 7, even 8 inning outings.
Yeah, that's what we've become accustomed to. He works hard. He also likes being able to be a guy that you can count on for those 200 innings also. I wonder early on, watching some of these guys get so quickly out of the gate, if that put just maybe a little bit of extra pressure on him, trying to do too much. But here recently, we've seen him get back to who he is. Good sinking fastball, the occasional 4-seam in on right-handed hitters, and that changeup.
Well, the soft contact has been there all year, which tells you that at certain points of the season he was pitching with some bad luck.
Really was, yeah.
He's currently second to Chris Sale in the soft contact percentage. But he's also had a rough start, as you said. He was 1-5 and 3-8. The rest of the staff was doing their thing, and he used to be the man, and now all of a sudden he was the guy in the rotation who wasn't finding a way to win games.
There was a lot of traffic. There was some walks, some weak contact, and usually he gets that ground ball to get him out of some tight situations, and we really didn't see that ground ball double play get him out of some of those situations. It just led to more soft contact. It led to hits and more runs scoring. And we saw him basically trying to work middle, the entire strike zone. When we talked about it before, when Dallas is going really good, it's that bottom third of the zone, off the edges, and then middle down. That's how he creates chase and some of those ground balls.
First inning, you showed the pitch breakout between the beginning of the season and more recently, and that cutter was getting him into some trouble at times. It wasn't as effective as he would like, and we've seen that cutter kind of go away as the season's progressed. There was the cutter, and he gets a call, 3rd strike.
Well, actually, I think that was more the reason he's gotten away from the cutter, was that good fastball at 89 to 91 miles an hour, staying on that outside edge.
Gets the call on the edge on a borderline pitch.
It's a great pitch, just locked up Willie Calhoun.
This one is a hitter, you're hoping, but with 2 strikes.
Well, you're going, please cut, because that means it'll cut off the plate.
Stayed on the edge for strikeout number 4 for Dallas. Here's Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. Kiner-Falefa reached on a broken bat infield, hit his first time up, and this one's down the line, fair ball, bouncing off the wall. Kiner-Falefa into second for a double. So Kiner-Falefa wasn't in the original lineup, now 2 for 2.
The numbers on Dallas Keuchel early on in the season, those first 14 starts, the batting average not excessive at 267, but that ERA with the traffic, some of those walks piled up when he was trying to get off the edges, were eventually coming around. A lot of home runs, 12 in 14 starts. It's not Dallas Keuchel baseball, but here in the last 7 starts, that is what you like to see from the left-hander, working himself into this rotation, becoming a huge part again.
Prior to that stretch of 7 starts where you saw the numbers really turn around, he faced the Rangers in Texas, and the Rangers just singled him to death that game. Gave up 13 hits, all of them singles, and the Rangers knocked him out after 4 1/3 innings. 6 runs, 5 of them earned. But since then, 6 really good starts. had a start against Toronto where he gave up 6 runs, but even with that, the number is very impressive in those 7. Tochi on the ground, backhanded by J.D. Davis, gets up and throws in time. J.D.'s been tested over there today. He's made a couple of nice plays.
Yeah, both those nice plays that TK is talking about are going to his right. See him getting ready on that infield cut of the grass. Does a good job of making sure he gets a good hop to make a play on. Pops up and shows that good strong arm that we've seen on the mound and at third base. So you kind of get an idea of the angle. He dropped back a little bit to make that a little more of a longer hop.
And he's really playing off the bag against some of these hitters. Obviously, this is a left-hand hitter, but with Tochi up there, a right-hand hitter, Dallas a ground ball guy, the Astros were not anticipating him pulling one down the line. When you were discussing earlier playing with Greg Maddux on the mound, would he, when he told you get ready for a ground ball, would he also move you occasionally left or right?
He would, but when he told me I was getting a ground ball, he'd just stay where you're at. He goes, I'll get one for you. And they'd usually be pretty casual 2 hoppers too, which was kind of nice.
Not sure if anybody that in my lifetime watching baseball just manipulated a start.
Yeah, he wouldn't say what pitch, but he would definitely set up a situation where the guy would roll one over. It was amazing.
Just a complete artist. 1-1 the count to 2. When Dallas is on his A game, he gets a lot of similarities, a lot of weak contact, a lot of balls on the ground. He can try and manipulate hitters as well.
What is that sharp break in that slider? Gives the hitter an idea that it might be a fastball, and by the time they start their swing, it breaks down out of the zone. That was beautifully done.
Mentioned earlier, Profar had the fewest strikeouts, or the longest stretch without striking out against Dallas Keuchel. This is the guy that struck out the most in his career against Keuchel. Dallas has struck him out 15 times. Doesn't get him to chase on them. Possible 16 strikeout. It's 2-2.
Got a similar story about Doug Brocail telling me that a ground ball was coming. Big right-handed hitters were coming up in the lineup, and he said, be ready. I was playing third base. Of course, the first 2 guys hit me rockets at third base. We make the play. I go up to give him the ball back after the first 2 outs, and I go, man. I go, you're dialed in. He goes, no, I've got nothing today. Be ready.
So he was just hoping rockets at his fielders, huh? Good stuff.
Doug's one of the best. It's not too often you see him clean shaven either.
Yeah. Came back home for the clean look.
Yeah, I was a teammate of Doug's here in Houston originally, and then we both ended up in San Diego together for a couple years.
I mentioned Chu takes a lot of close pitches. He took that 2-2 pitch, and now the count's full. Number 6 just off the inside corner, could have been called. Dallas at 72 pitches in the 4th. Astros with the shift, especially up the middle, where a quarter of the ground balls for Chu go in that direction.
It's an impressive cluster of pitches on our MD Anderson strike zone from Dallas Keuchel. Early on, a tough battle with a good hitter and a runner in scoring position, 2 outs. But good command down in the zone and trying to tie up the left-handed hitting Shin-Soo Choo up and in.
There'll be at least 10 pitches in this plate appearance. Dallas has really been much better with his overall pitches per inning coming into this outing. Started the year around 17.5 pitches per inning, but that's all the way down to 16.4. But tonight he's been elevated by a lot of foul balls. And then he misses to Chu on the 3-2 pitch, and that's a walk. So 10-pitch walk. Chu will be on first base. That's the second walk issued by Dallas.
Dallas was trying to put a little extra on that one and just lost the feel.
Be tough to get Dallas too deep in tonight's game with that pitch count where it is now. Jurickson Profar the batter. He has walked and struck out. Two 2-0. Dallas got ahead of Chu before Shin-Soo Choo battled and ended up drawing a walk. Now he's down to the count 2-0 to Profar. Rangers have had at least 2 runners on in every inning but the third. There's a strike. It's 2-1. A 2-0 changeup.
2-0 nasty changeup. I wonder if it caught the bottom part of the zone. Just a little bit.
Slowly hit towards short. Bregman flips to Marwin. That'll do it. They hit the force on Chu to end the inning. It's 1-0 Rangers.
Presented to you by Toyota. Home runs play a big part in Astro victories on a whole, but even more so against the Texas Rangers. In the 12 wins this season, the Astros have hit 22 home runs. In those 4 losses, just 1. 23 home runs total, 22 in wins, 1 in loss. So you know what I'm hoping for in this inning is a home run or 2. Get the Astros back into this ball game and hopefully another W.
Only 1 hit so far through 3 innings against Giovanni Gallardo. And they take a strike here. Alex Bregman leading off. Well, similar to what their numbers have been all season long against their entire schedule, the Astros, if you break down their numbers against the Rangers, have done a lot of that damage at Globe Life Park at Arlington. There's a soft Shallow fly ball to center field. Tochi is there for out number 1. Not even close.
It's incredible. This season at Minute Maid Park, it's been a little Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde going on between this Astros offense, but against the Rangers, my goodness. Over 2 runs a game difference.
About twice as many home runs. Here's Josh Reddick. He was a strikeout victim his first time up. Astros have won 8 in a row overall against the Rangers. That's the most they've ever won consecutively against this Texas Rangers team. But the games they've won here at home, they've really had to scratch for some runs. That's a cool combo right there.
It's a good looking couple.
I like it. World champ 17.
We could open the roof and replicate the heat of Arlington to get the bats going. What do you think about that?
You know me, I don't mind the heat.
I was going to say, you might be the one guy that hopes for it.
The 40,000 plus might have something.
And this guy, right here, me. Keep that roof closed, man. I like this controlled environments. You're my friend.
Cool thing about the world champs couple is the lady in that combo doesn't have to change her shirt.
Yeah.
Unless
That's right.
At least for 3 years. He'll have to change it hopefully for an 8 and a 9.
Which I'm sure he would gladly do.
Yep. 2-2 pitch swing and a miss. Josh is frustrated. He's been struck out twice.
Are you the ultimate Southwest fan? Louisiana, July is your month to show your spirit. Use hashtag UltimateSWFanLA on Twitter to show us, and you could win a jersey and a VIP experience. So tweet now and win big.
And it's home and away jerseys.
That's beautiful.
2 outs, bases clear. Here's Yuli. Gallardo's continued on a nice little run here after a strong start against the Cleveland Indians. He has struggled on the road this season, but tonight he has been very good. 3 2/3 innings, 1 hit, 1 walk. Mentioned Yuli might be a little more aggressive against the guy that throws strikes. He took the first 4 pitches last AB, and now he's swung at the first 2 pitches this AB.
And in that previous AB, it was fastballs. Now he's gotten 2 sliders to start off the AB, and he's swung at both of them. Why not? Veteran pitcher, just keep going out there and see if the hitter will keep going after it.
Yuli, his last 10 starts at home, has a hit in all of them, hitting .417 during this stretch. Thinks about it, but does not pull the trigger. It's 2-2. Yuli has seen that batting average vacillate between above and below 300, currently at 296. And Gallardo, after getting ahead 0-2, trying to get Yuli to chase, and the count's full.
Imagine he goes back to that slider where he got the first 2 swinging strikes.
He's shaking off Chirinos. And he went to the fastball up the middle. Base hit for Yuli. Chirinos might have wanted the slider. Gallardo gave him the fastball instead, and Yuli with the second hit of the night for the Astros.
And I wonder, you know, if you'd asked Yuli, did you know the fastball was coming? He may have said yes because of that shake. Sometimes you can tell when a pitcher's shaking, because I guarantee you Chirinos was thinking along with me, maybe let's throw that slider, get the swing and miss like we saw earlier. And Gallardo said, no, I'm going to try and get him with the fastball in a 3-2 count.
An interesting sequence, because as Gallardo watched Yuli not chase 0-2, 1-2, 2-2,
yeah.
Maybe at that point he's thinking, if I throw the slider again and he doesn't chase, now I've just walked a guy with 2 outs and nobody on. So maybe he just wanted.
Well, I was also thinking to what you're saying right there, with the 2 outs on the board, maybe I can take a chance right here. Worst case scenario was a solo home run. I got to face Evan Gattis. But now you've got a runner on base and Evan Gattis.
And you're down to the count 1-0. Yuli now 11 straight games that he started at home with a base hit.
Evan's a guy you'd like to see get going like he was in June.
Bit of a streaky year for Evan.
Yep.
Started out slow, monster month of June, and struggled a little bit more recently. That hit his first time up, snapped an 0 for 11. Didn't get a chance to play much in that Colorado Rockies series.
I was just going to say that too. Kind of a tough road trip for a guy who has been the DH the entire season. And know you're going into a National League ballpark where you're going to have maybe pinch hit possibilities.
I know I've missed a few games, but that beard is pretty plush since the last time I saw him.
Yeah, it looks like it's growing a beard of its own.
It's a beard within a beard.
Yeah.
And again, no chase, and now Gallardo down to the count 3-0. So now, does he challenge Gaddis?
Well, we talked about the fastball not creating a lot of swing and miss for Gallardo. So I'm saying in this situation, 3-0, Evan Gaddis got himself a green light.
Good pitcher's pitch on the inside corner. It's 3-1.
That's exactly what it was. And if you're a hitter, you just say, so what? Make him do it again.
Ball 4. 2 out, base hit, and now a walk, putting runners on first and second for the Astros. It's the second runner to reach second base tonight. So Gaddis on twice. Robinson Chirinos a word for Yovani Gallardo. Saw Gallardo last year with the Mariners. 3 times out of the bullpen he faced the Astros. Tonight is start number 24 in his career against Houston. And now he faces Marwin, who drew a walk his first time up.
These were the situations last year where Marwin really stepped up and provided big hits for the Houston Astros. A little bit further down in the lineup, but those guys in front of him working base hits, working walks, getting on base.
Marwin takes a high strike. It's 0-1.
StatCast gives you an idea of where some of those balls put in play by Marwin are going. Doing a good job of staying up the middle, rolling over a couple in that 26% or 27% range.
Speaking of StatCast, with Yuli in scoring position at second base, during that break, I had a chance to compare all the 2017 StatCast Sprint leaderboard numbers to 2018 for the Astros, and Yuli was the most improved.
Nice.
By a pretty good margin. So
we've seen him flying around the base paths this year.
What we perceived as better speed has been documented. So if Marwin gets base hit to the outfield, you would expect Yuli would score perhaps easier this year than he would have at this time last year.
Much to the delight of Gary Pettis. He loves waving everybody.
Bregman's also moved up a couple of notches in the sprint speed leaderboard too. I think he was the second highest gain from last year. 2-1 to Marwin, up high. It's 3-1. Julia?
Hey guys, on Yuli's speed, he actually came into the season much lighter, knowing that he was probably going to be asked to play a little more third base, wanted to just be more agile. And remember, when he came over from Cuba, he didn't have a great workout program. So after the last couple of years, he feels good about what it takes to be conditioned to get through the entire season. Felt like he could come in a little bit lighter, so feels better on his feet this time around.
It's paid off for sure.
Big time. And I remember last offseason going into 2017, really put an emphasis on strengthening that lower body. Because another thing from coming over from Cuba is playing in a 162 game schedule. Keep those legs under you for a while.
not only coming to the ballpark for 162 games, but the time you arrive compared to when you arrived for a game in Cuba.
Yep.
It's a lot longer day as a major leaguer. Counts full on Marwin. 2 on, both reached with 2 outs. Runners on the move and a high fly ball to right field. That'll send Chu back. He's in front of the warning track. And he makes the play. So the Astros trail 2 as Marwin just got under one. It's 1-0 Texas.
Spotlight falls on Astros starters at home versus Texas. Talk about the offense having its struggles, but it doesn't matter when your pitching staff is able to go out there and suppress the Texas Rangers to the tune of a 1.54 ERA. The batting average against at 141, 66 strikeouts. Astro pitching doing a great job of creating swing and miss against a team that likes to swing and miss.
Dallas a big part of that. His 2 starts here at home against the Rangers this year, 11 innings, including tonight with 1 run allowed. Went 7 innings of 3-hit shutout baseball against the Rangers back on May the 13th as he faces Elvis Andrus in the top of the 5th inning. Dallas delivers a strike. Well, Dallas is aware coming into this inning that his pitch count is much higher than he would like. He's at 80 pitches through 4. That's 20 pitches per inning. And if Dallas wants to get through 6, have to be pretty efficient in this inning. He misses to Andrus. It's 1-1. So far Dallas has allowed 4 hits. He's walked a couple of batters and he has struck out 4. Facing the 3, 4, 5 hitters for the Rangers, Elvis Andrus, Adrian Beltre, and Ronald Guzman. Hold the string. It's 2-2. Might have been a slow curveball in there. Dallas made the first start coming out of the All-Star break. Now gets the first start at home out of the All-Star break as Andrews sends one to center field. George Springer is there for out number 1. We haven't had a chance to do a game since the All-Star break. I thought it was great for Alex Bregman to win the MVP of the All-Star game. And obviously you mentioned the home run derby. That was impressive to watch. Not only Alex do his thing and almost beat Kyle Schwarber in an incredible finish. But it was also cool to see his teammates during the timeout give him so much love.
No, it was a team effort. It was a lot of fun to watch those guys cheer him on. I actually think Alex got kind of hosed in that whole deal. Home runs are home runs, right?
With the extra 30 seconds.
Yeah, give me a break.
I thought that rule.
They all count the same.
I thought that rule might hurt him because he's not going to hit any 440s.
Yeah, he's not a prodigious home run guy.
Yep.
I mean, you got to give Schwarber credit. He did lean into a couple and get that extra 30 seconds, but I'm just not a fan of that rule.
Yeah, that one definitely hurt. Obviously, they like the home run, but they like the bombs,
Yep.
the prodigious shots, and that's what gave Schwarber the extra 30 seconds. Here's Beltre, who's hit the ball hard now. His last couple of times up, that's a base hit. He's 2 for 3. Adrian Beltre with a single with 1 out in the 5th.
And in all honesty, I didn't care about the rule until Alex Bregman was affected by it.
It was good to see him repping the Astros and repping the American League. He was the only one in the American League in the home run derby.
Were you disappointed that you didn't get a stare after all 15 home runs?
I love that. That was a fun event. Every one of those matchups seemed like it was going down to the wire.
No, it was very well done. I do like the clock in that home run derby.
The other thing with the All-Star game, and again, we haven't worked since, but you know, Springer, there could have been co-MVPs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Springer went 2 for 2 with a home run.
There were 2 cars out there.
Yeah. Alex could have had first choice as the guy that gave the American League the lead, and then George could have had the backup plan. Alex gave his card to his mom. That was a nice gesture.
Yeah, that's awesome. That All-Star break he had was pretty impressive. Then go down to the ESPYs.
Yep.
Entertain everybody.
Win team of the year.
As they should have.
Slowly hit towards Yuli. He'll go to second. They get the out there. No chance on the return throw. Dallas knew there was no chance, so he didn't even bother to cover. Some great moments during the All-Star break. Here they are.
An Astro homering in a big moment against the Dodger was always interesting to see, but Bregman getting up there and then being followed up, the stare, and then being backed up by his teammate and good buddy George Springer going oppo taco. George had 2 hits in that ball game.
It was funny because you could hear him talking to Alex Cintron after the first hit and say, why doesn't this happen during the regular season? And he followed it up with a home run in which AJ told him he was back, and he has been back ever since.
You're right.
He wasn't even supposed to swing in that first at bat George had. He wasn't supposed to play in that game. Remember, AJ wanted Chu to play and get it. All these guys that were going for the very first time in. So we had a plan. He said things changed throughout the game. Needed George to be a defensive replacement later on. George said, I'm not swinging. I didn't even take BP today. And he said, get up there, swing the bat. And he got a base hit in his first hit, or his first at bat.
You know what the moral to that story is?
Don't ever take BP.
Don't take BP. And he usually doesn't, so I'm not sure why that matters. That's good for George.
It was fun to watch. And Bracamonte, of course, end up with that home run ball.
Absolutely right.
He was the busiest guy at the All-Star game. All the festivities. If you think about it, he caught bullpens. He played catch with almost every pitcher on the American League roster. He was exhausted. He said he slept that entire day, that last day off, before the team started back up again. He was all over the place.
Plus, he had the pressure of having to be the pitcher for the home run derby.
For MVP.
That's a lot of pressure. 2-1 pitch to Chirinos is pop foul.
And he loved every minute of it.
Yes, he
does. He was the star of the show.
He caught one of your home runs, right? At least one.
Yeah, opening day, 2003. He's Johnny on the spot. He's Javi on the spot. I apologize.
Well, Dallas trying to get through the 5th inning. He's up to 95 pitches. That's why behind Javier Bracamonte, there is bullpen action going. Brad Peacock warming up. This ball is drilled deep to left field, and that is a home run. Way up there, up on the train tracks. Robinson Chirinos makes it a 3-0 game with a 2-run home run. His 14th home run of the season. That is the first home run Dallas Keuchel has allowed since June the 5th. Over 8 starts ago.
And a lot of the success in recent weeks for Dallas Keuchel is the ability to keep the ball in the ballpark, and he did not here. Chirinos, the average around 200, gets a hold of that one and puts it up on the train tracks.
Coming in, Chirinos was just a 148 hitter against Dallas Keuchel, but tonight he has hit 2 of the hardest exit velocity baseballs of the evening. Now Dallas facing Willie Calhoun. 400 plus feet.
104.4 off the bat.
Double his first time up was also struck well. Quieted the crowd a little bit here as a 1-0 game with 2 outs in the 5th turned into a 3-0 game. Brad Peacock continues to warm up. Calhoun down to the count 1-2. Last time Dallas gave up a home run, it was June 5th. He allowed 3 home runs in that game against the Mariners here at Minute Maid Park. Two and two. And a called strike at the knees. Nice job framing there by Max Stassi to get the call for Dallas's 5th strikeout. But the first home run allowed by Dallas in over 50 innings, and it's 3-0 Rangers. AT&T Sportsnet is presented by Rooms to Go. Don't miss the summer sale and clearance event going on now. By Jack in the Box. Try the $4.99 Jack Spicy Chicken Club Combo with toasted sourdough. And by Nissan. Innovation that excites. Bottom of the 5th inning, Astros down 3-0 after the 2-run home run by Robinson Chirinos. Here's J.D. Davis. Davis rips one, caught by the shortstop. A leaping Elvis Andrus makes the play for out number 1.
Did everything he could, just didn't elevate it enough to get over Andrus.
Andrus always has fun out there. Was probably looking in towards his buddy Adrian Beltre in the dugout. After he speared that line drive with some ups, here's Max Stassi taking a called strike.
So that baseball that J.D. Davis hit was very similar in velocity off the bat as Chirinos' home run. Just 20 degrees lower in launch angle leads to a line out.
All about the launch angle. 0-2. Stassi was retired on a nice play by Andrews up the middle his first time up. Astros still sitting with 2 hits through 4 1/3 innings. Ronnie Gallardo coming off a 6-inning, 3-hit shutout performance against the Indians. Best 2 starts of the year, his last 2.
Well, the last 13 1/3 innings for the Astros, 3 hits.
And the night before, it took him till the 10th inning before the bats got going. The night before that stretch that you mentioned on Tuesday night.
Yep.
Towards short, backhanded by Andrews. Stassi retired for the 2nd out. Julia?
No Player Does More is presented by HEB. We're looking at Tony Kemp in a 9-hole today, providing a spark for this Astros ball club when he's in the lineup, and it's translating into wins and 34 wins. Look at the numbers, 393, that slash line, pretty good. Driving and runs even at the bottom of the order. That spark, though, he's had excellent at-bats and even some critical situations for the Astros. AJ's even brought him in off the bench looking for exactly that, just draw the walk or get your base hit, whatever it takes. We just saw that again in Colorado, having the great at bat just to drive in the go-ahead run. That's what Tony Kemp has done this year for the Houston Astros, guys.
Yeah, really been involved in a lot of big moments this year. AJ playing him tonight in left field with Kyle Tucker getting the night off. Tony holds up on that last pitch. No, he did go around. It's 0-2.
Tony finally worked himself into that everyday lineup, it felt like, and then Kyle Tucker got called up. So he is still putting up numbers, not playing every day, kind of getting some spot starts here and there. But it doesn't matter. It hasn't affected him, and that's what I like to see from a young player like Tony Kemp. Because it's so easy to say, oh, I'm getting, at bats taken away. I'm frustrated. It's not getting a fair take on things, but he hasn't complained one bit. He just goes out there when he has the opportunity and continues to get on base.
And it appears, even though he played a lot of second base the last few years in the minor leagues, that AJ views him now as more of an outfielder.
Yeah.
Given his choice tonight of Marwin in left and Tony at second, or the other way around, he chose Tony in left field.
Well, I know you saw the same thing I did earlier today. Tony was out taking ground balls at second base, so it's still an opportunity for him to play second base, maybe until Altuve's ready to go again. But for a guy who's not getting regular ABs to still maintain a .393 on base percentage is pretty impressive.
Not leaving the zone, down in the count here. Now works it back to a full count. Went from 0-2 to 3-2.
And his last name is now a verb. Kempen.
There's a ball ripped, but at the first baseman Guzman. So the Astros hit a couple of line drives to start and end the inning. Unfortunately, it was right at Texas infielders. Hinch will tell us who he thinks could win a Gold Glove. Blummer will help us out prepare for new ballparks. And Josh Reddick is back to his hometown. All that and more on Astros Bases Loaded after tonight's game, only on AT&T Sportsnet. New pitcher for the Astros as we start the 6th inning is Brad Peacock.
On the season in 41 games, Brad has thrown in 43 2/3 innings. He has 60 strikeouts. Good whip and that ERA under 3. Again with that fastball slider combination. 93, 94 miles an hour on the fastball.
Peacock will face the number 8 hitter Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, who had a couple of hits against Dallas Keuchel. Keuchel leaves after 5 innings for Dallas, his shortest outing since he faced these Rangers back on June 10th in Arlington. It lasted 4 1/3 innings in that game. So the Rangers get Keuchel out after 5. Dallas allowed 6 hits, a couple of walks, and 3 runs. The last 2 coming on a 2-out home run by Robinson Chirinos in the 5th. Two and two. Peacock taking over for Keuchel, who had been phenomenal in the month of July. Really had a shot, still kind of does, to win pitcher of the month, but that last home run didn't help his cause. Coming in with a sub-1 ERA in the month of July, gives up 3 in 5 innings today. Rangers lead 3-0. They have lost 4 in a row overall and 8 straight facing the Astros in their head-to-head Silver Boot series. Swing and a miss. Slider gets Kiner-Falefa for the first out of the 6th inning. Julia, what do you have?
Defensive rankings are driven by GMC. We've been talking a lot of Yuli Gurriel today. Talked about his defense. The 906 zone rating, 2nd in the American League. Also American League. He owns the best scoop rate. Balls in the dirt. His defense not going unnoticed. Even his manager saying he's just much more comfortable out there. He said he's getting away from the base so the Astros can play 20, 25 feet off, and still he can recover. So the Astros are using that to their advantage, especially with all the shifts that they do. But that development has made him elite, is what his manager said. AJ calling him the Gold Glove winner at this point in the season, guys.
Wow, how about that?
And when it goes to the point that you and Julia were making about the speed. He's worked on that footwork a little bit lighter, and now he's quicker and can expand that range a little bit, getting off the bag and helping the defense.
As Julia mentioned, he's able to play further off the bag, especially a guy like Carlos Tocci, who's batting now. He's a Rule 5 pick, but pretty good wheels. Yuli comfortable with his ability to get back to the bag, although this time Tocci with a single to center field. Tocci driving in the first run of the game with a sacrifice bunt, and now he's on with a base hit. But yeah, when you think around the league and the American League, and it's hard to come up with a name that jumps out as a first baseman who has been playing better defensively than Yuli Gurriel. Yuli had a misplay earlier tonight with Shin-Soo Choo batting. Choo bats here. For the most part, he has been really solid. Choo ground out, reached on an error, also walked. Budweiser party deck, always a good time, especially on the weekends. You can see the stadium has filled in rather nicely tonight. Big and bright Friday nights. Strozone t-shirts tonight up in the right field area were the Silver Boot champions. They've already taken the Silver Boot series for the year. The Astros with a 12-4 lead with 3 games to go. Here's a ball sent into right center field. That's going to split the outfielders and go all the way to the wall. Chu with an extra base hit. Tochi being waved around. He will score. Chu going to third and no throw. RBI triple by Shin-Soo Chu, and the Rangers out to a 4-0 lead.
Chu placed that perfectly in between Josh Reddick and George Springer. Down and in. Chu goes down and gets it, barrels it up. Shoots it just to the right of center field. George Springer playing well to the opposite field. No chance at getting there.
Now the Astros will bring the infield in with one out and a runner on third. Jurickson Profar the batter. He sends one to center field. Tagging will be Chu. Springer waits for it. This is plenty deep enough to score the run. No throw will be made by Springer, and it's 5-0 Rangers on the sacrifice fly. Peacock gives up a couple of runs in the sixth, and now he'll face Elvis Andrus. Rangers have put runners on base in this game. They have had at least 2 runners on in every inning but the third, when Dallas had a 1-2-3 inning in that one, facing Beltre, Guzman, and Chirinos.
Yeah, they've scored 5 runs and they've left 7 on.
This is a team, though, the Rangers, where no lead recently has been safe. A couple of nights ago, they had a 10-2 lead at this portion of the game against the A's and gave that up. Also lost a 9th inning lead the night after that. Falling to 20 games below 500, their new low mark of the season coming into this game. Well, Harris begins to warm up in the Astros bullpen.
Well, if you are an Astro fan, you can't really panic, because it's been that bullpen for the Texas Rangers that has had a ton of issues here recently. Doesn't mean you have to be happy with what's going on right now, but just don't panic.
And the Rangers tacking on 4 runs here in the last 6 batters, starting with the Chirinos 2-run home run last inning. Three-two pitch, catches the outside corner for a called third strike. Couple of strikeouts in the inning for Brad, but 2-run score for the Rangers, and it's 5-0. Sunday home game at Minute Maid Park is Kroger Family Sunday. Bring the whole family out to the ballpark for a family 4-pack that includes 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, 4 sodas, all starting for just $70. Visit Astros.com/Sundays for tickets and information. See if the Astros can get rolling here. They're down 5-0. Batting in the 6th inning. Top of the order, George Springer leading off against Yovani Gallardo. George sends a foul down the right field side. Gallardo making his 7th start of the year. In his 3 previous starts on the road, he has lasted no longer than 5 1/3 innings. And in those 3 starts on the road, has a 7.47 ERA. Tonight it's been a different story, as Gallardo has worked the Astros through 5, allowing just 2 hits. Did allow a couple of hard hit baseballs last inning, but some line drives right at fielders. J.D. Davis lined out to short. Tony Kemp lined out to first. George fouls one back. It's 1-2. George's fly to center and struck out. And he goes down swinging again, missing the fastball. That is strikeout number 5 for Gallardo. He had struck out 5 total in his previous 3 starts.
It's just 92 up in the zone. Not really blazing speed out of that right arm of Gallardo.
Here's Alex Bregman.
But that was really the pitch that he was not getting swings and misses on all season.
You know, as good as he was his last outing with the 6 shutout innings, allowing 3 hits, he did not strike out many Indians, just 1. Tonight he's been not only picking up shutout innings, but he's also been striking out batters. Ahead of Bregman 0-1, and checks his swing. It's 1-1. Alex has a streak on the line. He's reached base 27 consecutive games. And that streak started after he had a 31 game streak snapped of reaching base the game before. So he has been on base 58 of his last 59 games.
It's pretty special.
It's an on-base machine lately. Tonight he's flied out to center a couple of times.
Well, it's a high on-base percentage, and that's why his OPS is at 915, is because when he does get hits, usually they're extra base hits.
Chops a foul. It's 2-2. The 2 hits tonight for the Astros: a single by Evan Gattis in the 2nd, and then a 2-out single by Yuli Gurriel in the 4th. Hit one deep, but got ahead of it into the upper deck on that foul ball. And that fan wasn't expecting a foul ball up there. Nice play to get that souvenir.
That's recognition and excitement all in one. He just got a little excited and threw that barrel at it just a hair too quick and yanked it. Pretty gutsy to throw it again.
A little up in the zone this time. Missed by much. Counts full. And ball 4. So Alex draws a walk. That extends the streak. He's now reached base in 28 consecutive games. Time to play Name That Astro, brought to you by Nissan. Here are tonight's clues. Who am I? World Series champion all-star. Ring him up. If you have a guess, you can send it to @ATT Sportsnet SW. World Series champion all-star. Ring him up.
That could be 6 guys on the Astros roster right now.
Here's Josh Reddick. Reddick has struck out a couple of times. Of the 5 strikeouts tonight for Gallardo, Reddick has been punched out twice, once looking, once swinging. He's gotten Springer twice, and also Tony Kemp looking. Josh holds up. It's 2-0. Rangers get bullpen action going for the first time. Gallardo's high pitch count on the season is 102. Corey Guerin starting to warm up. Doug Brocail out to a little meeting on the mound.
I like Josh Reddick in this spot. I know he's struck out twice in this game so far, but sometimes these veteran hitters like Josh Reddick go to school a little bit, and he's got that edge to him that he gets a little ticked off if you've gotten the best of him a couple times, and third time through the order he has a chance to make the adjustment, recognize the release point, hopefully get a mistake in the zone that he can hammer. Astros just trying to extend this inning, try and push at least 1 or 2 base runners across against Gallardo and get him out of the game and get that bullpen of the Texas Rangers in.
Prior to tonight, with a couple of strikeouts, Josh had success against Gallardo. He was 8 for 16 against this Rangers right-hander. Gurriel waits on deck. Astros crowd now starting to get into things. They haven't had a lot to cheer about tonight. All 4 back-to-back walks issued by Gallardo. He wanted that call on the 3-0 pitch, didn't get it. Now 4 walks in the game, but the Astros have 2 on.
Last 8 games against the Rangers for Yuli Gurriel. Not too bad. Batting average of .353, 6 RBIs, a couple of bombs mixed in there, and that OPS up over 1,000. And he's finally in a comfortable spot in this game. He's got somebody in scoring position. So all these numbers and the timing of this setting up nicely, but that's going to also bring Jeff Bannister out of the dugout to make a pitching change.
I'll mention the longest outing for Gallardo of the season on the road, 5 1/3 innings. Looked like he was at least going to get through 6 tonight after an opening strikeout of Springer. But back-to-back walks, and Gallardo will come out of the game with 97 pitches. He's responsible for the 2 on, but he also leaves with a 5-0 lead. Guerin out of the bullpen for the Rangers, and this is a bullpen that was really beat up in the last series.
Yeah, that's another understatement. 10 innings, 13 hits, 17 runs in those 10 innings. 9 walks, 11 strikeouts. That comes out to a 14.40 ERA. A lot of that damage done by Chris Davis late in games. Had a big home run off Guerin in that series, but also had a go-ahead home run late in that ball game the other day. But these guys have a tendency to come out in situations and give up some runs. The Astros would like to see that trend continue right here.
Facing Yuli Gurriel with 2 on and 1 out. Yuli with a single and 2 at bats, batting a major league best .440 with runners in scoring position. Bregman on second, Reddick on first. Guerin throws a lot of sliders to right-hand hitters, more sliders and fastball. Here's that slider for a strike.
It's kind of an abbreviated delivery from Corey Guerin. He doesn't really stride out towards that hitter. It's a short stride. Puts a lot of pressure on that arm, but creates a good slider. Top out around 92, 93 miles an hour with his fastball.
Pitch on the outside corner. Yuli checking with the home plate umpire Larry Vanover. Didn't like that call. Down to the count 0-2. Guerin had been unscored upon with the Rangers prior to that home run by Chris Davis that Blummer mentioned. Acquired from the Giants on July the 9th. Lays off the slider. It's 1-2. Not a lot of at bats for the Astros against Guerin. Yuli has never faced him before.
Maybe going out there saying if you want him to chase, you got to at least get it near the plate.
I mean, threw the first slider at his hip that broke over for a strike, but he has not
found that release point again. You're right.
He has not had Yuli chasing those last 2 sliders.
And again, we talk about Yuli going up the middle the other way so well. It seems like he does it more on fastballs. We've seen him get out and around some of the off speed and try and yank it into that Crawford box.
Outside, ball 3, and now the count's full.
Pitching a little backwards with the sliders early on and trying to paint that fastball away like he did for that strike earlier in this AB. Big pitch right here.
Yeah, big pitch in this game. 5-0 game, 2 on, 1 out. Yuli with a full count. Up the middle, and it's stopped by Andrews, barehanded by Profar, and they turn a double play. 101 double plays hit into by the Astros this year, by far the most of the majors. Nissan. Our clues were World Series champion, All-Star, ring 'em up. Nolan Ryan. Part of the '69 Miracle Mets, an 8-time All-Star. Ring 'em up. Nobody with more strikeouts.
Yeah, that's a lot of right arms raising by home plate umpires. 5,714 strikeouts.
Ryan Express tonight's Name That Astro as we head to the 7th inning in a 5-0 game, and Will Harris takes over.
44 strikeouts and 36 and a third innings pitched for Will Harris in his 43rd appearance. Didn't pitch in that Colorado series. Went 2/3 of an inning in LA. Didn't go as well as he had hoped. Trying to rebound and put up a 0 and get that offense going.
Facing Adrian Beltre, who's had some good at-bats tonight. He has singled a couple times and also lined out to center field. This one chopped over the head of Harris. Coming in, Marwin Gonzalez. And he retires Beltre for the first out. Cutter curveball. Will's always been good in his career against left-hand hitters. Throws that curve a little more often to righties than lefties. Here's Guzman. It's 1-0. Guzman's grounded out 3 times, last time into a fielder's choice. Will made his big league debut with the Colorado Rockies back in 2012. Plummer mentioned, though, did not pitch in that 2-game mini series against the Rockies. And Arizona for a couple of seasons, and the rest with the Astros. 2-2 the count. Pulled back for the fireworks after the game, but these fans looking for some fireworks prior to that. The offense has been stagnant as Guzman goes down swinging. First strikeout for Will, and that is now 8 strikeouts for Astros pitching.
Go behind the scenes at Minute Maid Park with a tour that includes a trip to the press box, broadcast booth, dugout, scoreboard, and more. Visit astros.com/tours to book your tour today.
2 outs, nobody on, and he'll face Robinson Chirinos. Will Harris. 5 innings of 3-run baseball for Dallas Keuchel tonight. 2 of those 3 runs coming in on Robinson Chirinos' 2-run home run. Chirinos with a 2-out, 2-run home run in the 5th inning to make the game 3-0 at that point. Brad Peacock an inning, 2 hits and 2 runs in the 6th. That's how the Rangers lead this game 5-0. 1-1 the count. Astros starting the night 30 games over 500. Their high water mark of the season is 31 over. And the Rangers were 20 games under. That was their low point of the season coming into tonight. As Chirinos is down on the count 1-2. But some work to do to keep this winning streak against their rivals from Dallas, which is currently an 8-game streak. Chirinos tries to hold up, but he goes around. Good bounce back outing for Will Harris, a 1-2-3-7, picking up a couple of strikeouts.
Available now. Manage your dream team in franchise mode, plus get weekly stats, roster updates, and more. Learn more at RBIGame.com. Rated E for everyone. It's a big night at the ballpark, and Opie Otterstad, very talented artist, does a lot of paintings throughout the season for Major League Baseball, but this one commissioned by the Astros, and it turned out to be phenomenal. 10 feet high, 25 feet wide. He has been working on that since opening day, I believe, and it has turned out to be just another masterpiece by Opie.
Every time we walk out of the ballpark, it seems like he was working on it for the first few weeks of the season.
Yeah, we're leaving the ballpark at 11:30 at night, and Opie is still working on it, so kudos to him for the perseverance.
So bottom half of the 7th inning, fans enjoying the 7th inning stretch here, but they're not enjoying the score of this game. It's 5-0 Rangers as Evan Gattis faces a former teammate. Corey Guerin misses 1-0. Guerin began his big league career with the Braves in 2011. Gattis caught him 13 games during those first 3 years. Guerin was with Atlanta 2011, 12, and 13 before moving to the Giants for the last 4 seasons. When Guerin made his big league debut, was in San Diego April 25th of 2011, and Brian McCann caught him in that major league debut. A couple Astros know this guy very well. Gattis has been on base twice, a single and a walk. Guerin able to get through one batter and pick up 2 outs last inning as he deuced a double play ground ball from Yuli Gurriel.
Almost as good as what we saw from Cullen McHugh.
One pitch.
1 pitch, 2 outs.
That's as efficient as you can get. Trying to distract his former teammate a little as that pitch came home. It's a strike. Is 3-1. Yovani Gallardo went 5 1/3 innings, allowed 2 hits, 4 walks, no runs to the Astros tonight. Struck out 5. Ball's drilled to left field, hit well, and Gattis has just hit a home run. Astros on the board with Evan Gattis, his 20th of the year. It's now a 5-1 game.
Another bearded bomb. It hasn't been a good month for Evan Gattis. That's a nice connection he just made on a 3-1 slider.
He's called pitches for Guerin in the past, and that time he took him out on a 3-1 pitch. First time Gattis faced him as a hitter. And now Evan joins Alex Bregman in the 20 home run department on this team.
Hugging is good.
21 home runs for Bregman, 20 for Gattis. Let's see if that can get things going. So far, just 1 run back, but that's a start. And if you're the Rangers in the other dugout, and you've seen what happened in that Oakland series, even though it's still 5-1, you're starting to think about you still need 9 outs.
Yeah, when you're going in through a funk like this Texas bullpen and you see a home run, you just start to go, oh man, is it going to happen again? It's a hard feeling to fight.
Rangers have 9 arms in their bullpen right now with the trade of Cole Hamels to the Chicago Cubs. One of the players returning in that deal, Eddie Butler, and he's available in the bullpen, and he's warming up right now. He just arrived around game time to meet his new teammates.
That's aggressive.
Welcome to the team. We may use you in a big spot.
No, we need you.
Right?
Have you seen the last 3 games? We need you to get hot.
Barr went down to the count 1-2. Marwin has walked and flied out to right.
When things aren't going good like they have been for Marwin, you feel like you're fighting from pitch one. This is a guy right here that could use a base hit, just see something land in that open grass out there in front of him for a base hit, turn things around, get on base.
Swing and a miss. Guerin picks up a strikeout.
Sweeping slider gets a strikeout of Marwin, but the sweeping slider got ripped out of here by Evan Gaddis. You can see on that replay, watch it off the end of the bat. Probably sitting fastball, got the slider, but was able to get out around it and yank it into those Crawford boxes. 365-foot solo home run to get the Astros on the board.
Here's J.D. Davis. He grounded into a double play and then lined out to shortstop. J.D. grounding into one of two double plays for the Astros tonight. J.D. hit into the 100th double play of the season for Houston. Next closest team, now the Astros up to 101 in the double play department. Next closest team, the Cincinnati Reds, had hit into 88 double plays coming into tonight.
Wow.
Well out in front in that dubious category as Davis grounds out for the second out. Next closest team in the AL is the Rays with 87.
Well, they lead in so many categories. Why not that one, huh?
That's not one you want.
Yeah, that's not one that's going to go in the highlight reel for sure.
Well, we've talked about some of the reasons for that. They've had a lot of base runners and they make contact for the most part.
Yep. But it's amazing to me at how many of those have just been absolute rally killers to end innings with guys in scoring position. That's what hurts the most.
Daggers. Yeah, daggers. It's not really like a runner on first in a big lead or a big deficit. It's usually in situations where you've got a lot of runners on.
Threatening, yeah.
We've seen a few of them with the bases loaded this year.
That's true, too.
Those aren't fun. Here's Max Stassi, 2 outs and the bases cleared. And it's 1-1. Ten of them with the bases loaded this year.
Ouch.
So I guess not as many as it felt. Still, those aren't fun. 1-1 pitch is a strike. Stassi's grounded out to short a couple of times. You can see how Guerin would be tough with that little short delivery of his.
Yeah, it's just unorthodox. It might mess with the timing a little bit of the hitter.
There's barely a start. He just kicks and pulls that arm back and goes.
Yeah, just kind of leans toward home plate. Those 10 double plays have come in 88 at bats with the bases loaded. So,
wow, not a lot.
Yeah.
1 out of every 8.8. That's not too good. It's not where you want to be.
Well, if they were just single out ground balls, it's 10 RBIs to your ledger.
There you go. Swing and a miss. Guerin able to get a couple of strikeouts in the inning. He struck out Gonzalez and now Stassi. Astros get one back on Gaddis' 20th, down 5-1.
The Beard got him, trying to get this offense going. Maybe it's just the start. 5-1 Texas over the Astros.
Astros getting on the board with the Evan Gattis home run in the 7th. It's now a 5-1 game as we head to the 8th. Astros will go to their 4th pitcher of the night. It's the lefty Cionel Perez.
Perez making his 4th appearance. Has thrown 4 innings. He has 5 strikeouts. Throws pretty hard out of that bullpen. He is the 2nd hardest thrower in that bullpen for A.J. Hinch. Averaging 95.7 miles an hour on his fastball this season. Has a changeup and a curveball. Looking to keep things right where they're at against the Texas Rangers.
Cionel will face the bottom 3rd of the Rangers lineup. Willie Calhoun, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, Carlos Tocci. 5 runs, 8 hits for Texas, 1 run, 3 hits for the Astros. Astros in scoring those runs in their 9 innings of work in Colorado, eliminating that big 6-run 10th inning. Scored 1 earned run on Tuesday night in 9 innings and 1 earned run on Wednesday night in 9 innings. And tonight they have the 1 lone run on Evan Gattis' solo home run, down 5-1. Calhoun 0 for 3. He has struck out 3 times. Puts this one in play, but an easy one for George to handle. And Springer makes the catch for out number 1. Cionel Perez, just 22 years old, made his debut earlier this month against the A's. Throws hard. Starting to get in that comfort zone, though, after being around the team for a little while. He was up for a couple of days, June 29th and 30th. Didn't pitch in the game, warmed up on Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg. But did not get in that game, and then was sent back out, and now he's pitching this time around. Ball's hit well by Kiner-Falefa into left, and that ball's gone. Just over the wall into the first row of the Crawford boxes. Kiner-Falefa, a single, a double, and now his 3rd home run of the season.
Not bad for a guy who wasn't in the original lineup.
Mr. knew all along he'd be a key to this game. Ryan Rua with back spasms, so forced to change, and Bannister put in Isaiah Kiner-Falefa into the lineup, and it has paid off. A couple of home run hitters tonight, Chirinos and Kiner-Falefa. Here's Carlos Tocci. He's been on base a couple of times. Tocci getting a chance to play a little bit now, and hadn't played much in the first 3.5 months of this season, but with Delino DeShields heading out, Tocci may get some starts now in center field.
Thought that was a kind of an interesting move. Delino going back down to AAA. Plays a good defense. The offensive numbers weren't exactly what you wanted to see from Delino DeShields Jr. Delino was hitting .204 on the season, but playing a phenomenal center field.
And Tocci was a guy really that they were kind of hiding on their roster, if you will, with the Rule 5 situation. He has to stay on the roster all year. Acquired from the White Sox after the White Sox selected him in the Rule 5 draft from the Phillies. And Tocci coming into tonight, even though he's been on the roster this season, only has 48 at bats.
But I would imagine he gets extensive ABs from here on out. Texas coming into this game 25 games behind the Astros, 5th place in the American League West.
Now trading away their opening day starter Cole Hamels. Now with the Cubs. You're going to see a pitcher tomorrow, righty Ariel Jurado, come up from AA to make a start. Hamels was in the original rotation to pitch on Saturday. with you a little earlier tomorrow. 5:30 pregame, 6 o'clock first pitch. A.J. Hinch not too pleased with tonight's first 7 innings plus as Tochi swings and misses, but he's going to reach. Ball gets away from Stassi on the strikeout. Tochi's been on base 3 times now. With the Astros World Champions commemorative brick program, fans have the option to customize a brick with a personal message that will line Champions Walkway at Minute Maid Park. For details, visit astros.com/bricks today. A strikeout, but Tochi reaching first base on a pass ball. Here's Shin-Soo Choo. Choo has also reached his last 3 times. Reached on an error in the 2nd, walked in the 4th, and tripled in a run in the 6th. Perez, a guy who has spent most of the season with the AA Corpus Christi Hooks. 11 starts, 5 out of the bullpen with Corpus. Really good numbers down there. Sub-2 ERA and 83 strikeouts in 68 and 3rd innings. Ball hit in the center. Springer going back, still back. He's on the track and he reaches up and makes the catch right in front of the wall. Choo hit it well to straightaway center, but a 400-foot out for out number 2.
Choo's been swinging the bat well against the Houston Astros and on the season. This one driven to the deepest part of the ballpark. George did a good job of taking a peek at the wall, knowing he had plenty of room to make that grab.
There's Jurickson Profar. Profar sac fly his last time up. 0 for 2 with a walk and a sacrifice fly. Appearing in his 4th major league game. Has allowed single runs in 3 of those 4 appearances.
Good to see him still having a good time.
Upstairs 1 and 2. We're seeing fans, and we knew the attendance was going to get a boost after you win the World Series, but we're seeing fans come out by the thousands this year. They're closing in on a pace for 3 million fans at home for the season. They may not get there.
It's incredible.
But the fact that that's even in the possible equations, by far the biggest increase from 17 to 18 of any major league team. And I don't even know if the most optimistic Astros employee thought that they could reach close to 3 million this year, but it's going to be at least 2.9 and could approach 3 depending on what happens here the final 28 home dates.
I was going to say not too many in August, but September there might be some good times to be hanging around the ballpark, irregardless of what's happening today.
Runner on the move, and the throw is going to be in time. Stassi able to throw out the runner. Tochi trying to steal a base. So that'll do it for the 8th, but the Rangers tack on to their lead with a home run. It's now 6-1 game.
Results from tonight's Chevy Stroke poll. Thanks for voting on our Twitter page at ATT Sportsnet SW. What's been the best surprise about the Astros season so far? 60% of the votes go to Alex Bregman and his power surge. Kemp coming in second.
Alex Bregman about 3rd in this inning. And he will face a new pitcher just acquired from the Chicago Cubs, Eddie Butler.
Eddie Butler, a part of that Cole Hamels trade, sending him from Texas to Chicago that TK's talking about. 8 games with the Cubs. He has an ERA of just over 4, 11 strikeouts and 17 2/3 innings pitched. Fastball averaging close to 93 miles an hour. Slider, curveball, changeup. Making his Texas Rangers debut.
Yeah, one day after he picked up his first win of the season with the Cubs. A strange game. Pick up your first win of the year, and the next day you're in a new league with a new team. Picked up the win in a walk-off situation when the Cubs won 7-6 against the Diamondbacks. Well, he's come out here with his new team and fallen behind Tony Kemp, the leadoff hitter, 3-0. Raleigh Lacey, and also a player to be named later, also in that deal for Cole Hamels and cash. And that is not the way Eddie Butler envisioned his debut with the Rangers, as he walks the first batter on 4 pitches. Just arrived as right around game time, did Eddie Butler. He may not have met his entire group of 25 men on this roster yet, as here's George Springer. There's a strike. George 0 for 3 tonight, a couple of strikeouts. There's a base hit to right field. Astros with the first 2 runners on here in the 8th. A 4-pitch walk, and now a single to right.
Power Players presented to you by TXU Energy. Alex Bregman coming up with a couple runners on, and his runners in scoring position numbers since June 16th. 520 batting average, 1240 slugging. A lot of that is due to the fact that he's been hitting a lot of home runs with those runners in scoring position, adding up to 24 RBIs.
Alex saying, I'll see your 440, Yuli Gurriel, and raise you another 80 points, at least since that part of the season. Alex has been money lately. Eddie Butler with 2 runners on and nobody out facing Alex Bregman. Bregman walked to continue his on-base streak up to 28 games. It's also flied out a couple of times. Butler delivers a strike. Jose Leclerc warming up in the Rangers bullpen. Leclerc has pitched in 3 of the last 5 days. 1-1 the count. Shallow center. Tochi is there. And Bregman is retired for the first out.
Missed it. It was a pretty good pitch to hit. It happens to the best of them. But still attacking on a good pitch in the zone.
Hasn't missed many of those in this last month and a half.
That is the truth.
Alex, 3 flyouts to center field tonight. Well, here's Josh Reddick. Reddick a walk and a couple of strikeouts. That ball's hit hard to right field. Chu is there, makes the catch. Reddick hit it on the nose, but right at the Rangers right fielder for out number 2. Bring up Yuli Gurriel. Ball hit to center field. Tochi going back. He will reach out for it right in front of the track and make the play for the final out of the inning. Well, a couple of runners stranded in the 8th. 6-1. Astros baseball on AT&T Sportsnet is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. By McDonald's. I'm loving it. And by Shoppers John Deere, your local John Deere dealer with 8 area locations. Friday Night Baseball from Minute Maid Park, opener of a 3-game weekend series. It also is the entire homestand as the Astros will head right back out on the road. And here is Chris Davinsky on in the ninth.
Last time we saw Devo was in Anaheim. Didn't go extremely well, giving up 3 runs. But in 41 games, still has that ERA almost right at 3. 44 strikeouts to 10 walks is a pretty good ratio. Fastball, slider, and the COD.
Rangers lead this game 6-1. And the first pitch, Davinsky throws to Profar, sent deep to right field, and that ball's gone into the Astros bullpen. Jerks and Profar jumping on the first pitch of the 9th inning. Makes it a 7-1 game. It's the 3rd home run of the night for the Rangers. Despite the Astros winning 8 in a row against Texas, which is their longest winning streak against the Rangers in franchise history, they are in danger of falling to 3-4 here at Minute Maid Park against Texas, as Andrews on the first pitch he sees grounds a single into right field, so a home run and a single on the first 2 pitches of this inning.
They don't want to wait around and get to the other stuff. They're just going to hack.
Devo is trying to snap a little streak here. The last 5 hitters he has faced, home run, single, home run, single. It's not been a fun run here going back to that game Sunday at the Angel Stadium. Here's Adrian Beltre. Pitch misses away. 1-0. Beltre 2 for 4 tonight. 7 for his last 13. One to count. Adrian Beltre's been on the DL a couple of times this year. Hamstring giving him issues, but still putting together a nice season in what will be a Hall of Fame career when he finally decides to call it quits. And he has another base hit. He's 3 for 5 tonight. He is now 8 for his last 14 as he continues to try and catch Tony Gwynn on that all-time hit list. Picked up 3 more tonight. He's up to 31-25, 16 behind Gwynn for number 18 on the all-time list.
Nights like this will make Adrian feel like he can play for 5 or 6 more years. Spraying the ball all over the ballpark. Not panicking in 2-strike counts.
Not only is he catching Gwynn in hits, he's 1 away from Chipper Jones in home runs. Chipper will be part of the induction class this year. That'll be coming up Sunday. I saw some pictures already with Baggy up there enjoying himself up in Cooperstown. You've got some more connections to the Hall of Fame class this year.
Yeah, Trevor Hoffman and Vladimir Guerrero going in. It was pretty close to having 5 teammates go in last year, but Vladdy and Trevor had to wait till this year to go in with Jim Tomei, Chipper Jones. Who else we got? Alan Trammell.
The Veterans Committee voted in Alan Trammell and Jack Morris, the Tigers.
That'll be a fun one to be around. Some good guys going in there, but Trevor Hoffman and Vladdy, 2 of the best, again, teammates and players. Vladdy probably the best all-around player I ever played with.
There's nothing he couldn't do.
Literally. I saw him in Double-A. You know, you play with guys that you in Double-A, Single-A, you're like, okay, this guy's got big league talent. But Vladdy, when he connected with a baseball in Double-A and hit it about 200 feet further than everybody else in the league, you kind of said, wow, this guy might be something special if he can put it together. But he was chasing balls out of the zone and hitting them out all over the ballpark. So what he was doing in the big leagues, I saw him do in Double-A. So it really didn't shock me to see him do these kinds of Hall of Fame type things. It was just miraculous how well he played the game.
And it's kind of crazy because now we're a generation past and his son is doing the same kind of things and people are saying he shouldn't be able to do this at his age.
Yes.
The same things you heard about Vladdy when he was with you.
I was with Vladdy when Vladdy Jr. arrived.
Wow.
So I've seen Vladdy Jr. go from a little bowling ball of a 2-3-year-old running around the Big O up in Montreal to now a potential superstar in the big leagues in his own right.
Just a matter of time before we see Vladdy Guerrero Jr. on the major league scene. There's Ronald Guzman down in the count 1-2. Stavinsky had a little visit from Brent Strom. It has been a really rough go for Devo. He has seen the last 6 batters he has faced going back to that Angel series reach. Trying to get it out here ahead of the count 1-2 on Guzman. 2-2. I'm excited to hear from Baggy. Jeff Bagwell will join us on another broadcast as he does every month coming up in August, but he's probably getting a chance to really let it soak in. Last year he had to think about the speech and you're pulled in 8 million directions when you're one of the inductees, but this year he gets to go and be more part of the crowd that hangs around on the porch a little more.
Yeah, I want to hear some stories. I want to hear some big league conversations. I want some Hall of Fame insight when he comes back with some of these guys, because now, like you said, he has more time to really approach probably some of the guys that he wanted to now that the attention's off him, so to speak, because he's not having to give the speech.
Two and two the count. Guzman has grounded out 3 times and also struck out. He made his big league debut here on April 13th and also picked up his first big league hit against Steve-O, Chris Stavinsky, in that debut. 2 pitches foul. It's not been a fun night for the Astros. The Rangers hitting 3 home runs have out-hit the Astros 12-4 and lead this game 7-1. Just looking for an out, maybe a ball on the ground and get a double play. That ball up the middle, and that's another base hit. Calhoun will, Andrews will come around to score. Over to third goes Beltre, and the second goes Guzman. Another run for the Rangers as they tack on. It's now 8-1. Not sure if Devo has ever gone through this in his career. This is unbelievable. 7 straight batters with a hit in his last 2 outings.
Having seen a lot of Devo pitch here at the big league level, I don't believe this has ever happened to him.
Obviously, AJ did not want to see 2 pitchers used in this inning with the score already 6-1 when the inning started. But Tony Sipp warming up now as Devo still hasn't recorded an out. Here's Robinson Chirinos. 8-1. Rangers lead, trying to snap an 8-game losing streak to the Astros. It has been all Texas tonight. As Chirinos fouls one back, it's 1-1. In a season that has not had a lot of highlights for the fans from Arlington. One of their better series of the year was winning 2 out of 3 here against the Astros back in mid-April. A couple of 10-inning wins. Astros came back to win 2 out of 3. The second time the Rangers came into town on May 11th through 13th. We have some breaking news.
Breaking news, just hot off the press. Interesting that we get it right now.
New player coming to the Astros.
Ryan Presley coming over from the Minnesota Twins.
With that, the Astros have acquired right-hand pitcher Ryan Presley from the Twins, and in return send right-hand pitcher Jorge Alcala and outfielder Gilberto Celestino. Announcement made by Astros President of Baseball Operations and GM Jeff Luhnow. So Presley will be another arm for the bullpen for A.J. Hinch.
On the season, Presley has a 1-1 record, 3.40 ERA, 69 strikeouts, and 47 2/3 innings pitched.
You know what Jeff Luhnow always likes is the ability to get the swing and miss. As Devo walks Chirinos out to load the bases. That's a category Presley's had great numbers this year. 7th in strikeout per 9 innings with 13.03 strikeouts per 9.
That was a good day.
2 bombs today.
Yeah, that was in Milwaukee.
Happy 10-year anniversary.
Thank you. Yeah, Ned Yost left Jeff Suppan in. 1 pitch too many.
2 bombs in Milwaukee.
What's crazier, me getting 2 home runs in a game, or Ausmus getting 4 hits in a game?
Hopefully Brad's watching.
I hope he is. I think he's up there celebrating with Trevor Hoffman in Cooperstown. But yeah, that'd be great if you caught wind of that.
We will talk about that maybe when we come back. It was not a good day for Devo as Tony Sipp will be the new pitcher. Loaded, still nobody out, and Tony Sipp is the new pitcher.
Trying to clean things up here. It's going to be a little bit of a rough go with the bases loaded. But Tony Sipp making his 30th appearance. That ERA is excellent at 1.82. 27 strikeouts in those 24+ innings pitched.
So Sipp will inherit a bases loaded, no out situation. Astros trailing 8-1. Facing the left-hand hitting Willie Calhoun. Calhoun 3 strikeouts and a flyout to center field. night for Chris Davinsky. All 5 batters he faced reached base, a home run, 3 singles, and a walk. Before the break, the Astros making a trade, adding an arm to that bullpen. Ryan Presley will come over from the Minnesota Twins. Jorge Alcala and Gilberto Celestino from the Rays minor league system going to Minnesota. Alcala the number 10, Celestino the number 15 prospects in the Astros chain according to the MLB prospect list. Number 10 and 15 prospects going to Minnesota. Ryan Presley will be happy he doesn't have to face the Astros anymore.
Yeah.
That was a Minnesota Twins bullpen that was not real thrilled when the Astros would come around.
There's some of those numbers to show you what Presley's done this season.
69 strikeouts and 47 2/3. Ball in the right field. As good as Josh Reddick's arm is, this could be a challenge for him to throw out a runner from there. Actually, Beltre was going to stop, but now he's going to come on in to score. Tony Sipp was hoping the throw was going to come home. Beltre's been battling hamstring injury, so in an 8-1 game, they weren't going to send him initially, but then when Beltre saw the throw go to second, he came on in. Now a 9-1 game. Here's Isaiah Kiner-Falefa.
Still give him a sack on that?
That's what I was wondering. Yeah, they are. Even though he stopped. Still a sack fly. Saw the strangest play the other day watching you guys from Colorado. They did not give a sack fly on that play because it was caught at the dugout, but it was an RBI.
Okay.
No, I'm still having a tough time trying to understand that.
Well, it was interesting because previously we were in LA playing against the Angels, and there was a pop fly in shallow center field with a runner at third base. Ian Kinsler caught it going backwards, and Josh Reddick tagged up and scored. And
that was a sack fly.
Sack fly. That's the only reason it caught me kind of off guard. But I guess if the dugout's involved,
I guess.
What if he goes in the stands?
Yeah, I guess the same thing. I'm not sure what the cutoff is.
Me neither. That one got me. We've been tested a couple times this year.
J.D. Davis making a great catch going over the rail in Colorado, and then really had to play at the plate had he made an accurate throw, but his throw was high and allowed the Rockets to tie that game. Here's a ball punched in the left field. Now it's going to drop for a hit. They're going to wave Guzman around, and he's going to score. Double digits for the Rangers tonight. It's now a 10-1 game.
Kiner-Falefa's having a game. This is definitely not a game we're accustomed to seeing in this Lone Star Series in the last couple of years.
No, really for the Astros all year long, those games that are decided by 5 runs or more, they're usually on the right end of those, but not tonight. Rangers this month were 4-16. But taking out some of their frustration of being swept by the A's in a 4-game series here tonight against the Astros.
Here's the
sack fly, the non-sack fly.
The non-sack fly, but What gets kind of lost is that how good a catch that was by J.D. Davis going into the dugout.
That was phenomenal.
I was shocked that the runner at Tapia at third base tagged up, considering how close in vicinity J.D. Davis was. Better throw, it's double play. Or would it have been a double fielder's choice?
I love the fact that Evans patting him on the back at the very end of this, and then he realizes, wait, he still has to make a throw.
He was like, whoops, I'm in on the action.
I'm out. I'm in, I'm out. JD making a couple of nice backhand plays today. Another sellout crowd tonight. Some have left, but a lot are staying around for the fireworks. 42,592 tonight. That is the 9th sellout of the year for the Astros. Ten to 1 Rangers. They have scored 9 of their 10 runs since the 5th inning. Carlos Tocci, the number 9 batter, hitting for the 5th time. He reached on a sacrifice fielder's choice his first time up, scored the first run of the game on a 1st and 3rd bunt play. Grounded out on a nice play by J.D. Davis, and then singled and struck out. And now he has another hit to left field. Tocci came in with 7 hits in his big league career, and he's been on base now 4 times tonight. 2 hits. He also reached last time on a strikeout pass ball. All Rangers tonight. Chu facing Tony Sipp, ground out, reached on an error, reached on a walk, and tripled, then flied out deep to center field his last time up. Presley, 281 appearances in his career with the Twins from 2013 through this year. It's going to be a bit of a transition for him when you've spent your whole career from age 24 through 29 with one team and you're traded over to another squad, but he is the newest member of the Houston Astros. He has appeared in 51 games this season already. By comparison, the Astros leader in games appeared is Will Harris with 43. So Molitor using him quite often this year, but in those 51 innings, less than 1 inning per appearance. He has 47 2/3 innings pitched. Two and two the count to Chu. 9th batter of the inning. To first, Yuli will step on the bag and throw home, but the run scores. They do get the out. But run number 11 crosses the plate as Robinson Chirino scores. That'll be an RBI for Chu. It's 11-1.
Heads up.
Good timing on our return back to the broadcast booth together.
Yeah, it's great to have you here, Todd.
Oh my goodness.
I thought you were going to bring some information to get through this inning.
11-1. This inning's been going on for almost 25 minutes. 0-2 the count to Profar. Profar started this inning on a home run. First pitch he saw from Chris Davinsky. Sent it over the wall into the Astros bullpen.
Breaking you back in style. Oh, wow.
The 28-day trip.
Yeah.
8 cities. Back in '92.
That sounds absolutely awful.
Republican National Convention was being held in the Astrodome in August, and so the Stros went on a 28-day trip. Hang with them.
Isn't that the truth?
The inning comes to a close. Thankfully, 5 runs for the Rangers. They lead 11-1.
Light hold true moment. The only moment this Astros offense has had in this ball game. Evan Gattis lighting up Gearin for a home run. Got a slider in a 3-1 count. Got around it. Got enough of it to get in that Crawford box, and he earned himself a very good hug from Tony Kemp again.
That's about it for the Astros in terms of things to cheer about for this sellout crowd. They're sticking around. Friday night fireworks to follow. Roof will be pulled back. And the good news, as it always is in the sport of baseball, is you get a quick turnaround for a new game the next day as Brandon Mann, the lefty, takes over in the 9th inning.
5 games so far this season for Brandon Mann out of that bullpen for Jeff Bannister. He's got a large ERA at 5.68. Still trying to figure things out. Young man has a fastball, changeup, and a slider, averaging 92 miles an hour on his fastball.
Quite a night. A single in the second, a walk in the 4th. Home run number 20 in the 7th. Checking out Ryan Presley's bio. He grew up in the Dallas area, so not far from where the Rangers play ball. drafted out of Marcus High School in Flower Mound, Texas. If you're wondering why we're talking about Ryan Presley, he was acquired by the Astros tonight in a trade. So Martin Maldonado on the off day yesterday from the Los Angeles Angels. And tonight, the Astros picking up Ryan Presley from the Minnesota Twins. Obviously, a corresponding roster move will have to be made with Presley to be added to the roster. Here's a ball hit hard, and Gaddis is having himself a night. That is off the wall in a hurry. Gaddis will hold up with a single. On base for the 4th time tonight. Evan, 2 singles, a walk, and a home run.
It was a rocket of a single off that manual scoreboard and left. Good to see Evan swinging the bat. Talked about how the month of July has not been kind to him, but starting to get back in the swing of things, barreling up that fastball from Brandon Mann.
Thank goodness for Evan. The Astros have 5 hits. Evan has 3 of them. Trying to knock out that scoreboard.
It's a pretty lucky bounce off the scoreboard too. That thing has a tendency to go anywhere.
High pop up. Robinson Chirinos near the screen makes the play. Marwin retired on 1 pitch, 1 out in the 9th.
Getting back to Presley again. Getting picked up by the Astros this evening via the trade, averaging 95.8 miles an hour on his fastball. He also has a slider. He throws it relatively firm, close to 90 miles an hour on that pitch. Curveball. So a high velocity guy.
J.D. Davis bats, grounded into a double play, hit the ball hard his 2nd time, but lined out to short and also grounded to 3rd. Martin Maldonado on deck will make his Astros debut as a pinch hitter, barring something unfortunate here with a runner on first base and 1 out. One the count.
You mean one of those unfortunate things that has happened over 100 times for the Astros? I see what you're hitting at.
Baseball 101. That's how many the Astros have hit into twin killings. So let's give Martin a chance tonight in this 11-1 game. 2-1 the count.
Brandon Mann is another well-traveled 34-year-old rookie for the Texas Rangers.
That ball's drilled to left field, and that'll be down and all the way to the wall. Evan Gaddis heads to 3rd. He'll be held up there. J.D. Davis in the 2nd. Astros get a double here from their 3rd baseman, J.D. Davis. A couple of runners aboard here in this 10-run game. A chance to see Martin Maldonado in an Astros uniform for the first time.
Down over the heart of the plate. J.D. Davis just drops the head on it. Not giving in. Continuing to go out and try and have some good ABs. And a healthy applause for the newly acquired Astro, Martin Maldonado.
Maldonado just acquired from the Angels. We'll get a pinch hit appearance here from Max Stassi. Maldonado has appeared in a lot of games the last couple of years with Los Angeles. More than any other catcher for the number of starts he has seen for Mike Scioscia's team. Traded for lefty Patrick Sandoval and some bonus pool money in the international pool. Takes a called strike. It's 0-2.
Maldonado's 2017 Gold Glove winner behind home plate for the Angels.
He's got an arm.
Yeah.
One of the better throwing catchers we'll see, not only in an Astros uniform, but in any uniform.
He's got a nickname for his arm, too.
I love it.
Yeah, me too.
Machete.
It's also in his Twitter handle. Cutting down runners.
Started his career with the Brewers. And on his first at bat as an Astro, he goes deep to right field, deep enough to score a run. That'll be a sacrifice fly by Maldonado. In comes Evan Gattis, and Martin drives in a run. Welcome to Houston.
Getting a healthy applause from fans still hanging out here at Minute Maid Park.
I love that kind of lost in the shuffle there with all the high fives. I love that Chris Davinsky was amongst those guys giving him a high five.
Yep.
Because you know Devo right now is just fuming.
He's got to be.
And he was taken out of the game. You usually, as a relief pitcher, stay through that inning when you're taken out of a game. But after that, it's up to you. You don't have to stick around. And here he is, giving a high five and a rather inconsequential run, but giving a high five to a new teammate after he had one of his poorest outings of his career. So good for Devo. Here's Tony Kemp. 2-0 the count. An 11-2 game. Evan Gattis scoring both runs for the Astros tonight. Man who made his big league debut just 3 days shy of his 34th birthday here at Minute Maid Park earlier this season. Pitched in Japan for a few years. Came back from injury. Missed 2 full seasons due to injury. It was a long and winding road for Mann before his big league debut on May 13th this year. Now the count's 3-1. And ends up striking out Kemp, and that'll do it for this one. It was all Rangers. Texas wins the opener of this weekend series by the score of 11-2. In the process, they snap an 8-game losing streak to the Astros. And we will have more, including the post-game show right around the corner.